Beautiful day in Charlottesville. The University of Virginia opening up their 2020 campaign with a young signal caller making his first start, lefty Brennan Armstrong. For Duke, the transfer, Chase Bryce at the helm. The masked coaches, Virginia and Duke next. The last time the Virginia Cavaliers took the field at Scott Stadium, they delivered the biggest win of the Bronco Menden Hall era.
He's got room across the 30, running inside the numbers to the 20. Bryce Perkins to the house! Touchdown! He's sacked in the end zone! Knocks it away! Touchdown! Virginia!
Who's win, baby?
The flight is over. After 15 years, Virginia will take the Commonwealth Cup.
We have head and tail.
Today, 1 week after a postponement of their rematch with the Hokies, the Hoos kick off their 2020 season against the Duke squad, looking to bounce back from a tough ACC start. Wahoos and Blue Devils next on the ACC Network.
Which way you want to kick? Kick it this way. All right.
Blue Devils taking the field here at Scott Stadium, looking for their first win of the year. 0-2 after 2 ACC losses, looking to right the ship. Meanwhile, Virginia, because of a COVID postponement, they haven't even played football yet. This is their first game of the year. Their original opener, or not even their original opener, but their opener last weekend against Virginia Tech postponed until December 12th. Alongside Mark Herzlich and Eric Wood, I'm Chris Cotter in the booth. And I tell you what, Mark, both of these teams trying to find themselves, trying to find their identity early on in the season, but for two totally different reasons.
Yeah, you mentioned the inability for UVA to get their season started. Then Duke got started early, but they already suffered 2 ACC losses. Both teams have first-year starters at that quarterback position. So, yes, they are trying to find their winning identity, but an area where they are not wondering whether they have production is at this pass rush position. You see Victor Dimukeji on the left, Charles Snowden on the right. Dimukeji for Duke has started every single game since arriving at Duke. Has elite get-off, 17.5 career sacks. Charles Snowden is the absolute leader of this defense. And for another area of strength that these two schools share, let's bring in our third member of our motley crew, Eric Wood.
Both of these teams have excellent tight ends. For the Blue Devils, Noah Gray might be the best player on their entire team. He not only leads the team in receptions, he leads the entire ACC in receptions for tight ends. On the opposite side of the field, Tony Poljan is a 6'7", 265-pound monster, and they think he's going to have an incredible year this year. The quarterback transfer from Central Michigan. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Duke and white, Virginia in blue, and you see the fans here at Scott Stadium at a limit of 1,000 fans. So very sparsely populated because of COVID distancing restrictions, but some folks lucky enough to get in and see this opener for Virginia, and Duke looking for their first win of the year. Charlie Ham will kick off as Duke won the toss and deferred to the second half. The freshman from Atlanta puts toe to leather, and we're underway. Jones on the return for Virginia. 15, still dancing his way, gets out to the 18. Tavares Kelly, check that on the return. Maybe a big pileup here. Could the ball be out? Duke's sideline says it is. This could be a big turnover here early on in the game. Waiting for the official signal. Still haven't gotten it yet from a referee, Gary Patterson.
Ruling on the field, it's fumble, recovery by Duke, down.
It was a fumble, so early on, the first big play of the game is on the opening kickoff.
Wow, what a huge play right off the bat by Duke and this coverage unit. It looked like maybe 96 Chris Rumpf got down there. One of their all-star pass rusher DNs ripped it out.
Ruling on the field, his play is under further review.
Obviously, this one's going to be reviewed in that mosh pile. Our replay official is Rick Page today.
Gosh, and how big would this be for Duke? Coming off 2 losses to open up the season. And one of the reasons why they had the second loss versus Boston College last week was they had so many turnovers themselves. This would be huge going in the momentum of Duke this early in the game. And, real question mark in terms of ball security for this UVA team. The one thing you really can't simulate in practice is that full live special teams rep. And this is going to be
was in there stripping that ball out. Chris Rumpf.
He's right there, Mr. Rumpf. Already making his presence felt. Mousy was in there too, the first hit, but what a huge momentum-changing play if this stands. And it's very difficult to see when exactly the ball comes out, if the knee's down, when, who recovers it. So it'd be very difficult to overturn the ruling on the field of a fumble and a recovery.
Freshman Dorian Mozzie was in there as well. Young man out of Detroit, Michigan, number 35. You see him there. Then you see Rumpf coming in. One of the stars on the defense, playing special teams. And I guess, Mark, this is why they do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They make plays.
And it's funny, Dave Cutcliffe talked about how Duke ball. He talked about how he had Duke kind of recover from the loss last week and got him out in the field on Sunday right away, went full speed. Big fumble. Now we get to see Duke's offense.
And you get to see Chase Bryce, the transfer from Clemson. Of course, threw one of the most famous passes in Clemson history to beat Syracuse after Trevor Lawrence went down with an injury, but now he's a Duke Blue Devil, and he's looking to lead this team. Pitch to Deion Jackson early. Jackson tries to cut it up. He's brought down after a gain of maybe a yard. Mandy Alonso there on the stop.
Yeah, and you mentioned Chase Bryce and his transfer over from Clemson, and he's one of those transfers that entered the portal and was such a big acquisition for Dave Cutcliffe in this Duke offense. He has 2 starts in his career already this year, 2 losses. He's looking to get a little bit more consistency, better accuracy, and confidence through his wide receivers.
Bryce with the pump, pressure comes, and it's almost intercepted. Flag down on the play. Let's check the marker.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second.
Got an early jump on that one. He lined up offside, but pressure already on Chase Bryce. UVA has been known for getting a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. Started with the corner blitz.
Jackson again on the left side, bangs into that Virginia defense. Tough sledding, get him a yard. Joey Blunt there to take the stop from the safety position.
It's a 3rd down. Duke is in that striking territory. They've had trouble getting the ball in the end zone, especially through the air, in their first 2 games. And picked up the first down and a quick run up the middle by Deion Jackson. They decided to go fast. Looks like they're going to go fast again with Chase Bryce.
Jackson got it down to the 3-yard line. Let's see if he can put it across the end zone. Big hit. Stuffed. Zane Zandier. ZZ stop. Making the stop.
Oh, as a former psychopath linebacker myself, I love watching Zane Zandier play. I mean, he is just playing with reckless abandon. Good hit, good stop.
You mentioned Duke having problems in the red zone, 1 for 6 over those first 2 games, so going a little tempo here, trying to put Virginia back on their heels. 2nd and goal. Chase Bryce will keep it, trying to lever his way into the end zone, but can't do it. 3rd and goal now from about the 1.5.
3rd and goal from the 1.5. You saw a little bit how they wanted to use Chase Bryce's legs in that situation. I wouldn't be surprised to try to get him out on the edge, try to maybe look for number 87, or this formation could be a quick toss.
Give to Jackson. He's met in the backfield, slowed down enough. Finally, the stop made after big old 91. Mandy Alonso came in and crashed. Nelson finally bringing down Jackson. Loss on the play, though, bring up 4th down and a field goal attempt for Duke.
You saw Duke go fast. They got to the line of scrimmage, didn't huddle for very long before that 3rd down play. And to me, I would much rather get the right play. Didn't look like it was situated perfectly right, but Great play by Manny Alonso, knifed through those two tight ends, getting the backfield for a big stop.
Charlie Ham on a 25-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is straight through the uprights, and Duke, following a Virginia turnover on the opening kickoff, settles for 3, but at least they got 3. First on the board, the Blue Devils. Deion Jackson met by Alonso in the backfield, cleaned up by Nelson. Blue Devils, though, up 3. Duke up early, 3-0 after a Virginia turnover, fumbling the opening kickoff. And Charlie Ham booting through a 25-yard field goal, so good momentum for a team on the road. Looking to pick up their first win of the year. The Blue Devils 0-2, both overall and in ACC play.
Well, let's try this one again, Chris. Let's try it on the ball.
Without Tavares Kelly, because Billy Kemp is back to return this kick. And Tavares Kelly Jr. fumbled the opening kick, and obviously special teams coach and Coach Mendenhall opting for a different option there for Virginia. Last year Virginia had a magical season, but Mark, look at some of the firepower they lost off of that season.
Yeah, Joe Reed was a really dynamic player for them, and Jesus Dubois really came into his own. Lots of big catches, that deep ball threat. But Bryce Perkins, he did it on the ground with his legs in the air. 79% of UVA's offense last year came through Bryce Perkins, and now that 79% falls on the shoulders of Brennan Armstrong.
Brennan Armstrong, young left-hander out of Shelby, Ohio, sophomore, making his first career start, his first career pass attempt. Just low, couldn't quite get it in the hands of Billy Kemp IV.
You look what Armstrong is working with, 6'2", 215. He's got the size, he's got the ability to use his legs a little bit, and he feels very confident in this offense. Feels like he's been trained for this starting role since he got here.
Here's the give to Talapapa. Maybe a yard. Chris Rumpus there for the stop. So quickly, 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and 9, and Chris Rump was in there coming off the edge. Really preseason All-American defensive end. And 3rd and 9, this is a pure passing situation. And with those guys gone that we mentioned before, possibly look for Terrell Jana, number 13, who's at the top of your screen.
Going to the bottom of the screen, fade up. Tried to hit the big freshman Lavelle Davis, junior, 6'7". They couldn't connect, just like that, 3 and out.
What'd you say, Chris? 6'7"?
6'7". Jeremiah
Freshman.
Lewis, who's 6 foot even.
Yeah, get some pressure, really a clean runner right up the middle. It's Shaka Hayward. And Armstrong not able to plant his feet, but they talk about Lavelle Davis at 6'7". Really, Bronco Mendenhall say he's always open. He doesn't have to take a step, and he's open because he's so much taller than guys. Just got to get on the ball.
Nash Griffin into punt for Virginia. End over end punt. No fair catch made, picked up by Jalen Calhoun. He's wrapped up after a minimal gain. Dangerous situation for Calhoun, but he's able to make the catch and hold on to it. Coach Cutcliffe entering his 13th season, 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. He's really turned this program around. Mark, I think about Duke in the ACC over the years, every now and then a good season, but Cutcliffe has had him, in bowl 6 of the last 8 years.
Yeah, he's really turned him around. And it's no longer a surprise when Duke football gives you a good game, and that's due to Cutcliffe. The one surprise this year is he's calling the plays as the head coach. Only ACC head coach to do that on offense this year.
Empty backfield for Bryce. Pressure coming on the edge. He gets rid of it. Complete to the big tight end, Noah Gray. Eric Wood told us to look out for this kid. He's going to be involved in this offense all day long.
Yeah, he is. And Cutcliffe's going fast. He's told us that he feels comfortable with Chase Bryce under center or taking the shotgun snap, going fast, getting the defense off guard.
Durant's on the left side. Navy picks up a yard. Snowden and Taylor, two of the linebackers there to bring him down.
They are both so good. Talk about Charles Snowden. He's 6'7", 240-pound senior out of Maryland. And then on the other side, Noah Taylor, 6'5", 220-pound junior out of Maryland. Both these guys can get after the quarterback, but do a ton of other things. Stand up, walk down, drop in coverage.
Quick pass, the slant is going to be incomplete. Blunt with a big hit on Calhoun. Jalen Calhoun couldn't hang on.
You're seeing what Dave Cutcliffe's trying to do early. He's getting empty formations, trying to spread out this UVA defense so it takes some of the pass rushers away from the line of scrimmage. And a lot of these open looks with the tight end extended.
3rd and 9 for Bryce and the Blue Devils. Bryce with time, overshoots his receiver down the left sideline, though, Jake Bobo. As Devontae Cross was in coverage, and now Duke will be forced to punt.
That defensive back position group for UVA really needs to step up this year. They had a lot of injuries last year. Their top 11 defensive backs were either injured last year in the season or had surgery after the season. And in order for this UVA defense and Nick Howell to call the plays he wants to call, that secondary needs to be healthy and covering guys well.
Porter Wilson punts this down to Billy Kemp IV, makes the fair catch at his own 8-yard line. 43 yards on the kick. Virginia now, after a 3-and-out on their first possession, they'll have an opportunity to make some hay offensively when we come back to Charlottesville, Virginia. Still got another game after ours tonight on the ACC Network. 8 o'clock Eastern, North Carolina State taking on 20th-ranked Virginia Tech. It's our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Hokies 4-0 in home openers under Justin Fuente, looking to make that 5 straight and remain perfect. Eric, what do you got on this offensive line for the Hoos?
This offensive line for Virginia has a ton of experience. Over 100 starts combined return for them. And that includes a 6'10" left tackle in Ryan Swoboda that had a start last year at tight end. This experienced group should provide Armstrong enough time to get his feet wet early in this game in his first ever college start.
Everybody on this Virginia team is tall. It's amazing. Armstrong's going to keep it, find some room, and he'll pick up close to a first down. Looks like he may pick it up.
Those are the type of plays we would see from Bryce Perkins last year. We were wondering whether it'd be the same thing with Armstrong. As you watch him, he is able to kind of see where the offensive line is creating those holes, and he has enough strength with his legs to pick those up.
Fumbled the snap, picks it up quickly. He couldn't connect with his tight end, the transfer from Central Michigan, Tony Poljan.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about composure. You get the ball snapped to you before you're ready, before you're looking, bounces on the ground and get up.
That's a home turf bounce right there, too, isn't it?
It is. Who do you find? You find the 6'7" tight end right in the middle of the field. Might as well throw it to him. Because best chance of getting open. Good play by Marquise Waters, defending the play and not stopping when the ball hits the ground.
Armstrong started all 4 years at Shelby High School in Northern Ohio. Giving it to Simpson, Shane Simpson. Give him about 4. It'll bring up 3rd down for Virginia.
Yeah, Simpson's one of those transfer guys they got this offseason. He was an FCS All-American from Townsend. In the couple carries early, but this 3rd and 5, you want to look to see where number 13 is. They like to get him the ball early.
Instead, Armstrong's going to keep it and try and get it on his own. Slips one tackle. And he's going to be close to the marker.
It's funny, as I'm saying, you want to try to find where number 13 is. He wasn't even on the field. I don't think he was on the field for the last 3rd down either, which is very surprising.
Yeah. He'll pick it up. So Virginia moves and chains. Now it's 4th and 1. Saying he was short. He doesn't think he was.
Looks like Rumpf is down on the field right now. In the middle of the field around the 30-yard line, getting attended to by the training staff.
One of the team captains of this team, yeah.
Don't want to speculate, but you know, this would this would be tough. I mean, Chris Rumph is just a leader and a guy who they're going to really need if this blue defense wants to do what they do best. And we'll see when we come back. So they're punting.
Good timeout.
It'll be 4th and 1 for Virginia, and with Rumph injured on the play and walking off under his own power, so that was a good sign for Duke. It might be an even better sign for them if they can force a punt here for Virginia on 4th down and get the football back to their offense. We'll be back after this. Nash Griffin to punt for Virginia on 4th and 1. Coach Mendenhall opting to punt it away. Fair catch made by Calhoun this time, and he makes it at the 27. So another opportunity to check out Chase Bryce in this Duke offense. Eric Wood is down there on the field at Scott Stadium, where it's got to be kind of quiet, isn't it, Eric?
I'll tell you what, they're doing a great job of pumping sound in here. You can probably hear it through my microphone. There's 1,000 fans in attendance today. Duke got 200 and Virginia got 800. And majority of people from Virginia is friends and family of the players and coaches.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. You can certainly see the stands, social distancing, but able to get here to watch the game. And quarterback and running back go separate ways. Little misdirection there between Mateo Duran and Chase Bryce. Some confusion, ends up in a loss.
Good. UVA signaling they got the football out. So they're going to mark him down.
Forward progress and stop. 2nd down.
Boy, Chase Bryce thought he might have fumbled too. He looked like he might have just kind of run off the field. Forward progress stop before the ball came out. That's what the ruling is on the field. Loss of a yard on the play. Bryce now will fake to Durant. Throws near side, finds his receiver. That's big old Damon Filion-Johnson. Great kick returner, one of the top kick returners in the country last year. Now more expected out of him on the offensive side.
Yeah, they're looking to him to be a deep threat receiver for this Duke offense. Nice little comeback route, 3rd and short. And he's got to look to try to find where 87 is. Noah Gray, big tight end, middle of the field.
He's in the slot. Top of the screen, they hand it off to Durant. Bangs his way close to that 1st down marker. What a big hit. Zandier was there, Nick Jackson.
Nick Jackson just got underneath the pads of Mateo Durant and drove him backward. Nick Jackson's a guy that Nick Howell said had just such a special offseason. He got kind of thrown into the fire last year due to some injuries and started the Orange Bowl, played some in the ACC championship game, and said that he left with this kind of knowledge of what he needed to improve on. Big tackle there, physical play.
Yeah, it looked like Durant had some momentum, and it was stopped immediately. So another 4th down, another 3 and out. And Porter Wilson punting it back to Billy Kemp, who makes the fair catch. So dueling fair catches here on punts and 3 and outs between these two offenses. Are you surprised by that, Mark, or is this kind of the game you expected from the start, with the defense has really taken over?
I am a little bit surprised. I think when we talk about both these teams trying to find out their identity, just not a lot of opportunity for either one of these quarterbacks to get in a rhythm. Only 4 passing attempts by Chase Bryce, only 3 passing attempts by Brennan Armstrong so far, and that just does not allow these quarterbacks to find a rhythm early. You see Rumph coming back, which is a good sign. At some point, they're just going to have to let the quarterbacks throw the ball.
Armstrong's going to look to throw it here as he rolls to his left. Nice, right on target that time to Kemp.
Chris, doesn't that look kind of weird, rolling out to the left? I mean, you don't see very many lefty quarterbacks playing football. And when we talked to Tony Poljan, he said he was wondering the entire camp, how come the ball was coming to him weird? And Then you realize he's getting a lefty quarterback throwing
The
the ball.
opposite way, spinning the opposite way. You wouldn't think it would make a difference, but every receiver will tell you it makes a huge difference, and you got to get used to it. Part of this strange offseason, there's Poljan right there, where the quarterback and the receivers don't have all the reps, don't have all the time together, so it makes it even that much more difficult when you're talking about new quarterbacks for both of these teams.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I think it's interesting, too, especially when you're transferring in. A lot of transfers that are going to make a difference on this UVA offense. I think the extra couple weeks they had with the delayed games helped them get in a rhythm.
2nd down and 7. Plenty of time. This time hits Kemp again over the middle, past midfield, and into Duke territory with another Virginia 1st down. Now they're getting things going.
You talk about the team height for Virginia. One dude who's not very tall is Billy Kemp. He was only 5'9". He kind of ducked under that tackle by a taller 6'4" Shaka Hayward. He's a guy who's really they need him to step up in that slot position. Assis Dubois vacated that, and Joe Reed, and he's the guy who can fill in and do a great job just like that for this UVA offense.
Armstrong the fake to Talapapa. Pressure comes off the edge. Nice job just sliding it back to Kemp, picking up what he can. Nate Thompson on the stop for Duke.
Quick feet at the top of the route. Got inside the defender, and you saw Brennan Armstrong just throwing a little sidearm pass. He's got that ability to get the ball where he needs it.
Talapapa. 3 tough yards in the middle. Rumpf is there back in the game after just a mild injury. Making the stop. 3rd down and 4. Entire playbook open here for Virginia. On 81-2, Lavelle Davis Jr. 6'7" wide out in the game now, maybe for a jump ball.
See Duke's defense walking around. They can bring pressure from anywhere.
Talapapa out of the backfield, and he can't quite squeeze it. Then we talked to Coach Mendenhall about Talapapa earlier in the week. He only had 5 catches all of last year, despite being really the bell cow in that backfield.
Yeah, they want to get the ball to the running backs more out of the backfield. In situations just like that, when you can get 5 guys out, you don't necessarily have to block as long because you have an open receiver. And in plus territory right now, they're putting a lot on Brennan Armstrong's shoulders trying to pick up this 1st down on 4th and 4.
They got Talapapa and Terrell Jan in the backfield. Now Jan in motion. Armstrong looking that way. Instead, he goes to a secondary read, and it's incomplete, and Duke will take over.
You see that little bit of lack of confidence by Brennan Armstrong on that throw. His first option, Terrell Jan into the flat, was taken away nicely by the defensive back and just wasn't able to find that confident throwing lane to get the ball to Tony Poljan for the 1st down. And Virginia is a team that a lot of questions coming into the season. They were picked to finish 9th in the ACC after winning the Coastal Division last year. And the big question is that quarterback position, losing Bryce Perkins from a year ago.
Now Bryce, pressure comes, does get rid of it, but wasn't able to get anything on it. Right off the edge. Joey Blunt from that safety spot putting pressure on Chase Bryce.
Yeah, they're bringing pressure from all over the place. And you see the 3 guys coming off the edge right there. Joey Blunt, Noah Taylor, and Zane Zandier. All of these guys are so good at getting to the quarterback. Impossible to block all 3 at one time.
Fake to Jackson. He stays in the block, so Bryce has a little bit more time, but a floater. Is it a catch? Did he grab it? It looks like he did. Pancall says he caught it. And now the officials are coming in and saying it was incomplete. That was up for grabs.
3rd down.
It was, and there was man-to-man coverage on the back end, and the only reason that wasn't picked off is because all the defenders' eyes were on their receivers. Didn't have enough time to turn around. That's interesting.
Yeah, they'll take another look at this, Mark.
Yeah, Ankle definitely thought he had it. He's obviously going to think he had it. Lining up to go for it.
Lined up to go. If I was Duke, I wouldn't be in such a hurry, but they are. Rice over the head of his receiver. He's a little off target as he tried to get it to Daryl Harding Jr.
Yeah, and we saw that a lot the first two games. You don't get the right footwork. You don't step into your throw and you sail the ball high. I think it's a decent route. The only problem is even if he caught that route, you still wouldn't have gotten the first down. You need to run the route to the correct yard line, plant your foot in the ground, and turn back to the quarterback. And right now, Dave Cutcliffe, he's just known for being kind of a wizard with these quarterbacks. He's coaching up Chase Bryce on the fly. Real life game time situation.
Second straight 3 and out for Duke, and Virginia takes back over. Let's take another look at the way the ACC is going to play itself out this year. No divisions this season, so the top 2 teams at the end of the season will play for the ACC title on either the 12th or 19th of December. And the way things are shaping up, I got to think it's going to be the 19th because more and more teams are starting to schedule games on the 12th. And Notre Dame joins for a full season this year, so eligible for that ACC title game, and they promise to be in the mix by the end of the year.
And I like it. I mean, I like it. I think it's a great compromise that the ACC made during this pandemic. It also makes for some really good weeks of football. I mean, you're just watching very competitive games as a fan week in and week out.
There's Terrell Jana making his first catch of the day at 74 last year. Along with the trio of Joe Reed and Hassis Dubois, now so much more on his shoulders, the Canadian senior out of Vancouver.
Duke showed pressure on that hard count, changed up the play on offense.
Pressure coming up the middle. Armstrong gets rid of it. He didn't really have a receiver in the area. Derek Tangelo broke free up the middle.
Yeah, dude. Good job by Duke. I mean, they showed the pressure. They showed their hand a little bit early, and you saw the check. They're going to have an alert check. Brandon Armstrong signaled out to Lavelle Davis. Just go long. Get your big 6'7" body going, and just couldn't complete the pass because the pressure got there too quick. See Rumpf and Dimukeji at the top of the screen, both on the same side of the ball. I believe that we're getting 5 out are going to chip to that side.
Through the snap, they get it off on 3rd down. Armstrong quickly. He misfires too as Kemp came out of his break. He was open. He couldn't connect with his quarterback, and another 3 and outs.
So this looks like a lot of bad quarterback play on both sides of the ball. However, there has been some really good defense going on the back end by both of these teams. Marquise Waters may have gotten beat on there, but held up Kemp just enough to not be able to come down with that.
Yeah, to be fair, Kemp got tripped up a little bit by Waters. Wasn't able to completely get out of his break clean. Another punting situation. Nash Griffin. Punters are getting the work out today. The low line was going to take a neutral bounce and killed by the Cavaliers. Saw Tony Polchan for Virginia getting involved in the offense, as did Noah Gray. Both these tight ends, both 87, and both outstanding players.
Yeah, Noah Gray, 51 receptions last year. That's second in all of Power 5 amongst tight ends, and he led the ACC. He has 14 straight games with 2 receptions. I mean, he is a prime target for this offense no matter who's at quarterback.
10 catches in 2 games coming into this game. Durant now on the carry. Just lowers his shoulder. Good strong run by Durant. Picks up almost 4 on 1st down.
Jackson's a little slow to get up, hobbling a little bit. But those 4-yard runs on 1st down are going to be big in terms of gaining momentum for this Duke offense.
Durant again, now he has a much bigger hold on the left side before Zandier closes it up. But it'll bring up a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 3. Although I say that, although they haven't been converting very many of these 3rd and manageables.
No, you need to start converting them. But, good thing Zane Zandier did get there for this UVA defense, because the offensive line for Duke has been pushing around the guys up front, getting the ball to that 2nd level.
Empty backfield here on 3rd down. Both teams combined 1 for 9 on 3rd down. There's a conversion right there, finding the big tight end, Noah Gray.
to me, that's the play call on 3rd and 3. Quick stop route, little out route off the leverage of the linebacker. And interesting, they were playing a cover 2 trap where they had Devontae Cross sit up on the outside. You saw a mandatory release by the outside receiver to go to the outside, spun around Devontae Carter, gave enough time, but Nick Jackson limping off a little bit. It's not a good sign.
Sophomore linebacker out of Atlanta. Favoring right leg.
Giving a thumbs up to the sideline, letting people know he's probably okay. But he's replacing Jordan Mack, who was pretty much Mr. Everything for UVA at that linebacker position last year. Was really impressed by his play. His teammates were coming into this year, finishing last year strong, and got banged up a little bit the play before. But as he does that up and under, can't tell whether it was lingering from the previous play or if he rolled it up there, but looks like it could be an ankle.
Josh Ahern taking his spot for now. Deion Jackson spins out of a tackle, but he was just positioned after he got out of Zandier's tackle. Joey Blunt was right there for him, tackle, and there was nothing Deion Jackson could do about it.
Joey Blunt's a guy who feels like he has something to prove this year. He entered last season as a preseason All-ACC guy. His dad was a safety at UVA. He's a guy who he didn't have as great a season last year as they wanted, but he's already started this one off in a great way.
Pressure picked up over the middle. That's going to be a score. Marweedy is going to take it to the house for Duke. Jake Marweedy with his first catch of the year, and it's 6.
Marweedy, a big tight end. He's back up to Noah Gray, but they really like his speed and his height. He's 6'6", 245. We call him a very physical tight end. And he just got in behind the linebackers. You see Matt Gamm dropping back into cover 3, and no post safety help. Just for singing Joey Blunt's praises, but he might have been down early, or Matt Gamm had to carry. One of those two things, but miscommunication by this UVA defense led to a big score.
55 yards. Bryce to Marweedy. Chase Bryce's first touchdown pass as a member of the Duke Blue Devils. And it's a big one here because it gives his team a 10-point cushion late in the first quarter in Charlottesville.
Line up in that tight end flex position. You see him in the slot to the top of your screen as he starts this route. Good job stemming inside and then flattening it out. See Joey Blunt lean so far over to the side of Javante Robertson, the wide receiver at the bottom of the screen, that just absolutely no coverage over top. Miscommunication. And Nick Howell, he was so confident in his defense. Feels like he has an entire playbook in, and one of the things about having to prepare for 4 different opponents is they basically have seen every single combination of playbook, and really just a blown assignment on that one. Going to have to look hard at that communication.
The Duke has forged their largest lead of the season in 2 games and a quarter, largely on the strength of their defense early on in this game. Ham with the kickoff into the end zone, and Simpson decides to take a knee for a touchback. What do you think Bronco Mendenhall is thinking? Last time he was on this field, it was a big-time celebration after they broke that 15-game losing streak to Virginia Tech. And the delayed start mark to the season has to be playing on you a little bit. It has to affect you in some way.
Yeah, anytime you have a season opener, usually the other team also has a season opener, so you're kind of inexperienced together. But I think a lot of the things that are happening right now is you're seeing what that live game speed looks like to your first-time starting quarterback.
Armstrong with the give to Simpson. As you mentioned before, Mark, the transfer from Towson. Picks up a good 4 yards on first down.
UVA seems to be going fast.
Final minute of this first quarter. Armstrong, pull jam. Tries to break free of a tackle, cannot, but he picks up a first down. Lummy Young was there to make the stop.
More routes like that for Brennan Armstrong. You get a guy to the flat, a guy crossing, and a tight end setting up right over the ball. That confuses zone defenses. Getting rhythm throws like that is going to get him confidence building throughout this game.
False start, number 69, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Chris Glazer moved a little bit early on that offensive line for Virginia. Very experienced unit.
Yeah, they are experienced. And one thing that I do want to see them improve on this year is just, those first and second down run games. They didn't have a ton of success on first and second down when their running backs were running the ball last year. Without Bryce Perkins back there, you can no longer do quarterback draws on 3rd and 13.
Talapapa spins his way out of a tackle, powering his way forward. Picks up 7 yards. That might be the last play of this first quarter, and it is. Surprising start by the road team. The Duke Blue Devils coming in here into Charlottesville 0-2 on the year, but on the opening kickoff, they forced a fumble, converted that into 3, and then Marweedy, the backup tight end, goes 55 yards. Blue Devils by 10 after 1. Scheduling announcement. Thanks to a scheduling change, we're going to have Friday Night Lights next Friday. Wake Forest hosting Campbell in Winston-Salem. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern right here on the ACC Network. Armstrong keeping it himself. Again, showing what he can do on the ground, Mark. This kid in his freshman year in high school had a game where he threw for 300 and ran for 200.
Wasn't he like 14 years old? I mean,
yeah, 14 years old.
That's incredible. I mean,
and it's in Northern Ohio, like Shelby. They're a football powerhouse up there, and the football is really good in that part of the country.
Yeah, so he's no stranger to pressure moments. You can tell that when you talk to him. He composes himself and has such confidence in the way he carries himself.
He's going to tuck it and run here. No, now he throws. Keeps his head upfield and finds a receiver. And that's Lavelle Davis, the freshman, making his first catch as a member of the Virginia Cavaliers.
Yeah, finally. I think it's the 3rd or 4th time he's gone to Lavelle Davis. This time he actually got to plant his feet. Just look at the length of that wide receiver. And comeback route's not a tall receiver's friend, but good job setting up in the open space.
Talapapa picks up a couple. Nice play by Marquise Waters from the backside.
Yeah, Marquise Waters, he had a tough game last week. He was tasked with covering Hunter Long, the tight end from Boston College last week. And, pretty good coverage, but Hunter Long made some absolutely amazing catches. And, we talked to the coaching staff. He said Marquise Waters just wants to get out and play again. And he's started well in this game.
Fake to Simpson. Armstrong will look to throw, and both the receiver and the defender fell down. Billy Kemp was the one he was going to. Mike Carter out of that strong safety position, one of the team captains for this Duke team on the coverage.
Chris Rowe got an explosive get off the line of scrimmage and wound up right at the feet of Brennan Armstrong. Now 3rd down, and it seems like Armstrong's been either using his legs or going to Lavelle Davis in this situation.
That time Rumpf was a little too explosive, it seems.
Yeah, a little too explosive. Brennan Armstrong right on cue, even though the ball was blown dead, threw a bomb to Lavelle Davis down the sideline.
Offside, defense with contact, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Smart play by Armstrong. He knew he had Rumpf chopping the bit, didn't he?
Yeah, you feel like you got you ice a kicker, or you call timeout, they kick it anyways just to get it in rhythm. We'll throw it down there to the wide receiver, get him in rhythm.
3rd down and 3 for Virginia now. In motion is Keaton Thompson, the quarterback transfer from Mississippi State, getting some time at wide receiver, so keep an eye on 99.
The rare now number 99 at wide receiver.
You give those to Talapapa, picks up the 1st down.
Talk about the numbers. You're going to see a bunch of wacky numbers or unusual numbers by guys at different positions, and Keaton Thompson's a guy who transferred in from Mississippi State as a dual threat quarterback, and they're using him all over the field, sometimes a wide receiver, but in this Bronco Mendenhall system, you have to earn your numbers. And as a transfer, he earned his number a little bit late, and so wound up at 99 at quarterback.
That's pretty cool, though. If I had to have one of those random numbers, I think that's one I'd like to have as a quarterback. Armstrong has room, tries to leap a defender, can't get out of the grasp of number 23, Lummy Young, but he does pick up a first down and goal for Virginia.
We talked about his confidence, his self-confidence. This is not a move you make if you're unsure about yourself. I mean, really good job trying to go vertical, but talk about shoestring tackle. Lummy Young literally came down with the shoestring, stopped him short goal line.
Talapapa throwing a nice block for Brennan Armstrong on that play to get Virginia now inside the 5-yard line. Jen in motion, fake to Talapapa, he'll lead. Armstrong to the goal line and the score.
Well, if there were any questions about whether Brennan Armstrong could come in and operate the same offense that Bryce Perkins did last year, those questions have been answered on this drive. Using his legs multiple times, but also setting up his blockers, and he's not going to maybe break a 60, 70-yard run, but those are the options that they have in the red zone with him where they can put points up on the board. Great play design and great call by Robert Anai to get him in the end zone.
Delaney with the PAT. Armstrong making his first career start for the University of Virginia scores. Who's back in the game?
Right side of your screen here, you will see number 51, Victor Dimukeji. He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Week last week. Robert Anai, the offensive coordinator for Virginia, said Tony Poljan not only can run block, but he can also catch passes, and we see him at the point of attack driving number 51, Dimukeji, off the screen on that touchdown play.
That's a great point, Eric. That's exactly what Coach and I was talking about when you talk about Poljan as being a guy who had 33 catches and 4 touchdowns last year. First thing he said was, yeah, but he can block at the point of attack, and that's what I like the most out of him. Nice job on special teams as Philyaw Johnson was brought down by Hayden Mitchell. And a spark now for Virginia.
Really has been a pretty even battle back and forth. Some struggles early by the quarterbacks, then opportunistic with big pass by Chase Bryce to Jake Marweedy on the last drive. Hopefully that settles in Chase Bryce. That's what Coach Cutcliffe wanted more than anything, for him to gain confidence in his arm and just let it fly.
Deion Jackson gets 3 yards, the senior out of Atlanta. His high school ball at Pace Academy. Jameer Carter with the stop. True freshman for Virginia. If you're a true freshman and you earn your number and you get playing time, that's saying something here at Virginia on that defensive front.
Gain some respect from the old guys for sure.
2nd down and 7. Bryce now to pass, steps up. He'll be dropped. Noah Taylor. Carter gets a half sack as well. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Oh, Noah Taylor comes off the edge, even gets chipped by Deion Jackson. Great job using his hands, working inside. I love what Noah Taylor does off the edge for this team. And whenever you get number 7 and number 11 standing up on the edge like you see here, you better watch out offensively and get the ball out of your hands fast.
Empty backfield for Chase Bryce. Here comes the pressure. Backs up, tried to connect with Bobo just over his head. Bobo couldn't clear the defender in time, and Duke will be forced to punt.
Yeah, Noah Taylor got the pressure on that 2nd down play, and you look over to him again. They dropped him back in coverage, used him as a decoy, and allowed Charles Snowden to come off the other side. So when you have so many guys that can create so much defensively as UVA does, really multiple in what you can do in terms of creating a rush on the quarterback.
Tavares Kelly back to receive this Porter Wilson kick. Fair catch made at his own 47. That's where Virginia will take over when we come back, down 3. A new addition to the grounds at UVA is the memorial to enslaved laborers. It's meant to acknowledge over 5,000 individuals who built and sustained life at UVA between 1817 and the end of the Civil War. Constructed of local grant, the memorial's wall contains known and unknown names of those who worked on the grounds. Here's Eric with more on this story. Eric?
Wide receiver Terrell Jana will be playing this season without a nameplate on the back of his jersey, and that's to bring significance to those listed on the memorial whose last name was not even listed. He has the full support of his head coach Bronco Mendenhall, as well as the rest of the university, which means a tremendous amount to him.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. That's really good. A great way for Terrell Jana and some others. They've decided to raise awareness in such a manner. I love it. Big play here by Shane Simpson. Gets into the second level and into Duke territory.
Yeah, and I love what, the reasoning behind why Jana did that. He said, your motto at UVA is family first, last, and always. And, he said, for me, Jana is my name. It's my family name. It's my history. And to see so many people on that wall with no last name, he really felt for them and wanted to kind of remove that name from him to show homage to them.
Armstrong trying to find his young receiver. That's Rashawn Henry, actually. That's a senior transfer from St. Francis. One of the guys that Coach Mendenhall told us to keep an eye on. Again, 6'3". Everybody's 6'3".
You're short if you're 6'3" on this UVA team.
You really are. I mean, 6'3" is like a commonplace.
Chris, you could not walk around that locker room. You would stick out like a sore thumb.
Be brutal. Armstrong going to keep it again. Dances his way to pick up just a couple, but he gets something out of it. Then Fry there to make the stop for the Blue Devils.
You see, Brennan Armstrong. Yeah, I think he's settling in a little bit now, and you saw what he was able to do.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, number 9, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic.
Yeah, just quickly on that, Mark Woods with the penalty, and that's going to, when you're on the road and you're trying to spring the upset and the other team has a little bit of momentum, why give them any more?
Yeah, that's no bueno for sure. But you look at that last drive, and Brennan Armstrong, so often you get quarterbacks that you'll have the ability to run and have the ability to pass. You can either do short passes to get them in rhythm or let them use their legs early so they have that confidence of that second outlet. I think that using his legs helped his passing confidence in that last drive.
Plenty of time in the pocket. Connecting with number 13, Terrell Jana. Spoke about him. Young man out of Vancouver. Really getting into a rhythm right now. We talked about the struggles on third down. At one point in time, both teams combined 1 for 9 on third down. Quarterbacks, neither one of them get into a rhythm. Right now, it looks like Armstrong is the one that's really starting to put together first a scoring drive, now in the midst of what could be a second scoring drive here as we get close to the red zone. Talapapa, straight up the middle, has room. Inside the 10, bangs his way inside the 5, down to the 3.
That is what this offensive line is going to be fueled by this entire season. They're returning a bunch of guys up front, but when you can watch your running back scream past you and break tackles, watch Talapapa lift his feet up on contact, break through some of these tackles. He's from Lahaina, Hawaii, and when he was back during the pandemic in the offseason here, he would run on the beaches of Hawaii like he did in high school, learning how to pick his feet back up through that thick sand.
Picking his feet here, trying to get to the end zone, and he stood up just shy. Posted 2 tacklers there at the 1-yard line. Having run that Cocoa Head rail trail on Oahu, that is tough. And you know how I feel about cardio.
Oh, yeah. It tricks you because it's listed as a hike. But then you get there and you realize you're just doing Stairmaster all the way up. It has a pretty nice view at the top.
Beautiful view. A lot of great places to work out. Yeah, training in the offseason on Oahu. Now Armstrong under center. He'll give to Talapapa. Tries to find his way to the end zone and does. Just wrestles his way across that goal line. 12 touchdowns on the ground last year for Talapapa. And the Hawaiian native gets his first of 2020.
Shaka Hayward fills this gap nicely, but that leg drive by Talapapa gets him into the end zone, and looks like those beach workouts must have worked. That Cocoa Head Trail, Chris, I used to spend some time in Hawaii during my off seasons, and I would be climbing up that mountain, pretending that that was good enough cardio for me too.
It worked.
And Talapapa has got to be fired up after getting in the end zone on this rush, driving his feet and driving his UVA offense into this end zone.
Straight points for Virginia. They've taken a 14-10 lead over Duke here in their opener for 2020. After a COVID postponement. A rivalry game with their opponents from Blacksburg. Virginia Tech postponed until December 12th, so they're opening up this week after teams like Duke have already played 2 games. Maybe a little bit of a slow start for Virginia, but a couple touchdowns on the board, and they lead. This one is going to sail right out of the back of the end zone off the toe of Brian Delaney. And you know, Mark, it's a Duke team with Chase Bryce, who they've had their issues offensively, and it looks like they're continuing here. Even though they were able to get the 10-0 lead and convert a turnover into points early, Chase Bryce hasn't been sharp. And other than one really big play to their big tight end, Lamar Weedy, the backup tight end, they haven't gotten much going offensively.
Yeah, they haven't. And Chase Bryce talked about, one thing that he really wanted to focus on going into this game was spreading the ball around, getting it to a bunch of different receivers and going through his progression. So far, he only has 1 reception to a wide receiver. His other 3 completions have been to the tight end, so he needs to start getting more people involved in this pass game, or else it's going to get out of hand quick.
They give to Waters now. Jordan Waters in that tailback spot for Duke. And Jackson back in the game. That's good news for Virginia. Nick Jackson and Charles Snowden combined to make the stop.
You see Snowden come off the edge, slow played a little bit, but his length, he talks about his 6'7" wingspan and how beneficial it is to not only drop in coverage and just take up space, but being able to slow play those read options, get to the quarterback or the running back.
Bryce with time, has a receiver, the 45, makes a move outside. That's Phil Johnson. And another big play for Duke, so they're using big plays to move the chains, and this one will be now back into Virginia territory. Last year, Duke didn't cross the 50-yard line. Mark, you and I did the game until midway through the 3rd quarter when the punter fumbled his snap and picked up and ran for his life.
Yeah, this game is obviously different than that one. Chase Bryce, good job finding his open receiver.
Waters cuts it back into the teeth of that defense. Jackson is going to make about 100 tackles today.
Yeah, he is.
He's in on every play.
He is. You look at kind of the wave of white jerseys moving forward, and this offensive line is pushing around the D line, but they're just not climbing up to linebackers, and they're able to get in there for 3-yard stops.
Give it again to Waters up the middle. Has some room. Down to the 30. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. Snowden on the tackle this time for Virginia.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for Chase Bryce to pull the ball on one of these read options, because you have Charles Snowden and Noah Taylor crashing in from the outside. It's going to be open at some point in this game.
This time Jackson lowers his shoulder. He picks up the 1st down, still churning his feet. So a good answer for Duke in getting the ball into Virginia territory and keeping this drive alive. 7 minutes now to go in this 1st half. Bryce with a fresh set of downs. Pressure coming off the edge. He steps up, throws to the end zone, has a receiver just overthrowing Noah Gray.
That's the right look. You see your tight end matched up against a smaller nickelback. As we see Duke, come and just got to pick up this protection. Really good job by Deion Jackson stepping up and blocking the blitzing linebacker off the edge. Chase Bryce is kind of double clutched. He said he does not have real chemistry with a lot of these wide receivers because he missed so much time due to that COVID.
This time, Matt Gamm brought the pressure. They've got so many linebackers on this team.
And they rotate him and they keep him fresh. And I think that's one of the issues with a 3-4 defense around the country. You don't see it as much because it's just difficult to find linebackers that can not only cover but rush the passer. And UVA has had a knack of recruiting some really good ones.
There you see Gamm 56 on the edge. 3rd down and 10 for Duke. Pressure again comes from Virginia. I think Bryce will be dropped. This time it's Richard Burney who picks it up.
Richard Burney's a guy, he was probably the most productive guy in this offseason. They have a tradition to get to break a rock, which is the idea of starting to chop down a mountain. He was the one to break the rock at the end of this summer training, had probably the best training camp and showing on the field. 4th and 13.
Yeah.
Not a lot of faith in the kicker, doesn't look like right now.
Right at the edge of his range, so Coach Cutcliffe opting to go for it on 4th and 13. Virginia will bring pressure again. This time Bryce escapes, tries to go downfield, and it's incomplete. Nick Grant was there on coverage. Really no chance on that play.
No, and really no chance because it was a very tentative throw by Chase Bryce. He needs to get that confidence and sling it in there. UVA gets the ball and we come back.
Thank you, Jordan. Back here in Charlottesville. Virginia up 14-10 over Duke. Kemp on the end around. That constitutes a pass, actually, from Armstrong. Good gain on 1st down.
Yeah, and one area that Duke is really hurting at right now is that cornerback position. Their 2 top guys, Mark Gilbert and Josh Blackwell, are out for this game, both undergoing surgery this past week. Gilbert has a foot injury and Blackwell a torn meniscus in his knee. Not sure when or if those guys will be back, but it doesn't look like Brennan Armstrong's really picked on the corners too much, and the backups have been playing well.
Stacked formation here, and back in Armstead. Backup quarterback lining up at receiver on the receiving end. So you have 98 Armstead and 99 Thompson, 2 backup quarterbacks that will also line up as a receiver from time to time.
That's wild. And Armstead's a true freshman from South Bend, Indiana, near Notre Dame, and he's a guy who has size and speed and length and be a good player for them in the future.
Fresh set of downs for Virginia. Armstrong, plenty of time over the middle, hits his tight end Poljan. That's a 1st down. Lots of time for Armstrong.
That is a tough throw to make. You saw him put that ball in between the 2 linebackers. Look from his point of view, there's just a slight opening right there where he can place it in. And really good route, good timing. Talk about timing, how important it is. You got a transfer tight end and a first-year starting quarterback. They are on the same page right now.
Give to Simpson. Dances his way to try and pick a hole. Gets 3 on 1st down.
What's kind of interesting about this transfer tight end, he was actually a starting quarterback at Central Michigan. He was a high school quarterback, baseball player, basketball player, 1,000 points in basketball. And, I mean, just incredible in terms of what he is in terms of a physical specimen and athlete. Made that conversion over to tight end and is finding a niche nicely in this offense.
In the first 2 years was a quarterback and a tight end at Central Michigan. Simpson, good room to roam. 1st down for Virginia. These last 3 drives for Virginia really starting to apply the pressure on this Duke defense.
Yeah, they are. They're getting good combination blocks by their offensive line up front. Saw Olashigun up front and come off that double team on the nose guard and climb up to the linebackers. You can do that. You can spring to the next level and break those 10, 15-yard runs.
Keaton Thompson, top of your screen, split wide. Talapapa spinning. Still churning his feet. Still going. Big run by Talapapa. Another first down for Virginia.
They're rolling a little bit right now. Good blocks up front by the offensive line. 72, Swoboda getting an extra push. It's a 6'10", 325-pound offensive lineman pushing you forward. You better fall forward.
Duke calling a timeout as the defense clearly on their heels. They've spent a long time on the field here in this first half.
Yeah, they have, and they're getting a little bit winded. Look at, really Talapapa there. Just made a lot of improvements. He knew this was going to be his year, his team, coming back with a couple opt-outs at that running back position.
Yeah. Time now for our food line, food for thought. Mark, Virginia's really starting to pile up yards on the ground.
Yeah, they have, and you see Shane Simpson, the transfer, coming in, making some waves in the backfield. And then him and Talapapa have kind of been a 1-2 punch. Talked to Robert and I, the offensive coordinator. He said, all of my running backs bring something a little bit different. Talapapa might be one of more that grinder, and Simpson maybe more shifty out of the backfield, but both are productive.
Simpson now trying to bounce outside. Nice job on the tackle by Duke. Number 39, Jeremiah Lewis. Yeah, his corner spot. You just talked about the two starting corners that are out. Lewis made a nice tackle.
Yeah, he did. You want to force the ball to the corner, try to make him make the tackle, but good job by Lewis. This is his first start. Coach said he has really high football IQ. He's very consistent in camp, but just wasn't sure how he would perform. Good tackle on that play to save a touchdown.
We saw 129 yards on the ground for Virginia after a slow start. Starting to get cooking. 2nd down and 10 here. Armstrong rolling to his left. Going to the end zone. Try to put it up top to one of his shortest receivers, Billy Kemp.
It's funny, we talked to Brandon Armstrong just kind of about how different it is for some of these wide receivers and tight ends that he is a lefty, and running some of these routes to the opposite side of the field that you're normally used to running them when you have a lefty rolling out to the left is a bit different. So, 3rd down and long, they really need to at least get it to the 4-yard line for a first down.
Just under 2 minutes to go in this first half. Coming with some pressure now, going to one of his tall receivers in the corner of the end zone as the receiver and the cornerback battled for position. Lavelle Davis was down there fighting for it with Leonard Johnson, who played a lot last year, was sort of, 1A and 1B on that cornerback spot.
Yeah, and you got away with a little tug on the jersey, and sometimes when you're the bigger wide receiver, the bigger man out there, you don't get all those calls. But really good job by Leonard Johnson filling in. Again, you're going against a much taller guy and doing what you need to do to knock the ball away, bring up 4th down.
32-yard attempt from Brian Delaney. He's hit 13 straight going back to last year. Then make it 14 straight. Virginia now up 7. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Sunday Best here on the ACC Network. Starts with a women's field hockey doubleheader at noon Eastern, Wake Forest and Virginia, followed by Duke Louisville. Then it's a classic women's soccer rivalry as number 1 North Carolina faces number 7 Duke at 3:30. Sunday Best right here on the ACC Network, and also, as always, on that ESPN app.
Look at Cutcliffe right here. He has an opportunity that's talked about a lot when you watch the New England Patriots play. Score at the end of the half and then get the ball back to start the second half. Remember that fumble that UVA had on that opening kickoff really nullified them getting that ball first. But if Duke wants to change the momentum of this game, it's so important now they just come away with some points. A field goal is fine because you get that momentum going to the locker room and come back out and get the ball again with another shot.
Obviously, Jordan Waters deep for Duke. Out of the back of the end zone goes Delaney's kick, touchback for the Blue Devils. They'll have a minute 50, and Chase Bryce can see if he can improve on his 5 of 14 days so far pitching the ball.
Sometimes these situations are opportunities for young, inexperienced quarterbacks because you stop thinking about all the play calls and you start doing plays that you've practiced over and over again. Coaches are consistently getting scripts going for 2-minute drives, and a lot of times you see quarterbacks find their rhythm passing the ball when they get put in these hurry-up 2-minute drives. Let's see if Chase Bryce can settle down and do that to end this half.
Good pass in the slant, dangerous. Boy, Zandier thought he might have had a beat on that when he's trying to get it to Calhoun. Through a lot of hands. Similar play, this time he connects with Dennis Smith. And they'll bring up 3rd and 5. Now Virginia will call a timeout. As they're thinking, if they get a stop here, Mark, they might be able to put more points on the board before we go to break.
Timeout, Virginia. That's their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Virginia really wants to keep the ball in front of them defensively. At this point in the game, yes, a stop right here would be great and get the ball back, but you live with a first down, but you just don't get beat behind the defense. Right now, Dave Cutcliffe talking to his quarterback, Chase Bryce, and going through his progressions, talking to him about on this play, this is your first read, this is your second read, and this is the clock that needs to be going off in your head. And once that clock goes off, put your foot in the ground, either throw it or run to try to get this first down.
Chase Bryce, the transfer from Clemson, famous, of course, for converting on the 4th down pass when Trevor Lawrence was injured, keeping Clemson's national title hopes alive. Appeared in 25 games as a member of the Clemson Tigers. He's in graduate school right now at Duke. There's that victory back in 2018. Young man from Grayson, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. In his first career start at Notre Dame earlier this year. A lot of players from his hometown and some of the schools around there on this Duke team.
Timeout.
Another timeout.
Virginia. That's their second timeout. 30-second timeout.
Well, the Cavaliers, and yeah, obviously didn't like what they saw coming out of that timeout, called another one to set up for this big 3rd down.
Yeah, and you saw him coming out in empty formation and saw man-to-man across the board. They were going to send pressure with some off coverage by the defensive backs, and you saw D'Angelo Amos, his second free safety in there, man-to-man on Noah Gray in the slot, and that's a mismatch. And see if he changes it up or if he sticks with that man-to-man pressure.
Eric Wood, what do you got for us?
Yeah, left tackle, we've seen some rotation. Casey Holman, the normal starter, has been rotating in and out. He's in on this series. David Cutcliffe may not like what he sees from his offensive line so far in this game. Chase Bryce has been hurried on a number of his throws against these 2 talented pass rushers on the outside.
Now at 3rd and 4, let's see if Virginia brings pressure. They do, stunting on the outside, but Bryce has time. Will he make a pay? And a great interception! D'Angelo Amos with a great pick, and Virginia set up once again in Duke territory.
Well, D'Angelo Amos was no longer on the tight end, Noah Gray. The Duke switched their offensive formation to the other side, which created a different matchup, but D'Angelo Amos sat off the ball, read the route, and broke downhill on that pass. See him on the right side of the screen, just really coming in behind that deep slant route. Not enough air under the ball for Chase Bryce. Big turnover for UVA.
Reviewing the play to see if Amos came down with it. Transfers all over the field making an impact. You know, there are two of them on this Virginia defense that transferred in from James Madison. JMU, just a powerhouse FCS team as they review this play, but you've got Amos and you've got Diba Tarawa on that defensive line transferring in from James Madison. And, you know, you talk to the Virginia coaches, Mark, we did this week about how much of a jump that is, and they really didn't think it was that big of a jump because of the high level of football played by JMU year in and year out.
Yeah, and JMU is consistently playing ACC teams, you know, in terms of their non-conference schedule. So they really analyzed the film.
Going on the field is confirmed. Now, Virginia.
Confirmed that, yep. And they talked about, you know, they really analyzed the play against ACC opponents, and they thought that both of these players could make an impact at this level already. D'Angelo Amos showing why he was a first-team FCS All-American. Big interception. Really cut off any momentum Duke had going into half.
And now with 1:33 left to go in this first half and all the momentum with Virginia. Brennan Armstrong an opportunity to put more points on the board. He's back to pass. Going for Jana. Couldn't hook up. Had two receivers in the area. Davis was also out there for the Hoots. Nice coverage by Jalen Alexander.
Was good coverage on the play, and I was impressed by UVA's offensive line on that one. They picked up the pressure. Duke brought 6 rushers, left man-to-man on the outside, and when we talked to Brennan Armstrong, he was so impressed by watching his offensive line pick up the pressures against Clemson all the way back in last year's ACC championship game. He knew he had confidence in these guys.
Talapapa now out of the backfield, over the middle, tried to hook up with Jana again. No doing. Alexander was there again for Duke.
Well, you better be careful, or they're going to give Duke the ball back with another opportunity before half. And the way possessions have been going this game, a lot of back and forth. And
yeah,
big 3rd down and 10. Duke gets a stop here. They have that same opportunity to put points on the board before halftime.
Right, the 3 and outs could be back. Third and 10 for Armstrong and the Cavaliers. Talapapa there to pick up the blitz. Now Armstrong going deep down the left side. Another fantastic job in coverage. And it's intercepted by Duke. Leonard Johnson is there to get the football back to the Blue Devils.
Leonard Johnson, such a good job. You see, he was being carried off the field handcuffed for stealing, which is UVA's move. But why, you know, look at the pressure. Good job initially by the offensive line, but then Dwayne Carter just leaks through. Such a good job in coverage, not biting on the double move, understanding the yard to gain, and then going up and high pointing the football. He's a guy who is just a natural athlete. He holds the Duke defensive back record for squats and power cleans, so you saw him get up and high point that football.
Love it. Now Chase Bryce with 1:17 left to go. What will Duke opt to do here deep in their own territory? Bryce comes out firing. Complete to Robertson, the true freshman. Joey Blunt makes the stop after Robinson picks up just a handful. Clock continues to run.
I like the play call. I mean, I like a couple screen plays thrown in there to wide receivers, to running backs. Easy completions for your quarterback. Now you got to move the ball downfield. 3 timeouts, though, for Duke.
Virginia continuing to bring just 4. Bryce underneath. Calhoun with the catch. Spins forward. Pick up positive yardage. And he does pick up the first down. Pressure picked up by Jackson. Ball fluttered a little bit out of his hands. Snowden was there to bring pressure for Virginia. Now the clock stops with the incompletion. 34 seconds left to go.
Indecisive. I don't know. Miscommunication on that route, obviously, but you see the consistent pressure, and UVA is only bringing 4 guys right now, dropping everybody else back in coverage. Playing so far off these wide receivers. Maybe a quick out route just to set up 3rd and short.
Nice flush, now he'll be sacked. Noah Taylor got to him.
You cannot double clutch when you're in empty sets. You only have 5 blockers and just way too long. You're not helping your offensive line out at all by providing that much. I know Eric Wood would be very disappointed in his quarterback for not getting the ball out fast.
And now Duke opting to just let the clock run out here in this first half, Mark.
Yeah, big sack by Noah Taylor. Noah Taylor is going to be all over the field this entire season. We saw one of the all-time greats in Isaiah Simmons last year for Clemson doing safety, linebacker, D-line. Noah Taylor is kind of the closest thing you're going to get to Isaiah Simmons this year, and he can line up literally anywhere, especially with some of the injuries to the defensive backfield last year. Coaches used him in a variety of different ways and feel like they really have a grasp on how they can use this budding talent.
Yeah, Duke used a fumble on the opening kickoff by Virginia to put points on the board. They added a long touchdown pass and had a 10-0 lead in this game before Virginia, playing in their first game of the season, really woke up offensively, and Brennan Armstrong led 3 scoring drives and 17 unanswered points, and that's where we stand right now, 17-10. Duke's still in the game, but they've got to figure something out offensively as they go to the break with 150 yards of total offense, and 55 of those on the one scoring passing play to Marweedy. Here in Charlottesville, we're going to send you to the studio in a little bit, but first, Eric Wood is standing by with Bronco Mendenhall.
Coach, your guys got off to a slow start today. Do you attribute that to the amount of time without playing an actual game?
It's hard to say. I think so. Either way, we still have to secure the ball.
Prior to the 2-minute drill, you seem to have found your identity on offense with Armstrong at a quarterback. Is that true, Coach?
I think we're closer. We need to capitalize on the turnovers, on the field position that we have. But there was a few drives in there where we found our rhythm and a little bit more balance.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Eric. Yeah, 129 yards on the ground for Virginia after the slow start. And Armstrong, 11 of 25 for 101 yards and that one pick in the first half. Virginia up 17-10 at the break. Let's send it to the studio. My guy Jordan Cornette and the crew for the halftime report. Duke got out to an early lead in this game, 10-0, and they took advantage of a turnover on the opening kick. However, Virginia at home, playing their first game of the season, was able to rattle off 17 straight points in the second quarter. And that's where we stand right now with Virginia up 7. Eric Wood had a chance to speak with Coach Cutcliffe coming out of the locker room. What'd you hear, Eric?
Yeah, I asked him what his team needs to do to come back and win this game. He put a lot of pressure on the offensive line. He said they need to finish blocks. They need to establish the run game. And he said Virginia's doing a better job of protecting the passer. That's why they're more effective on offense. He also said those quick drives on offense are making his defense tired. So a lot of pressure on the offensive line for the Blue Devils in this second half from Coach Cutcliffe.
All right, thank you, E. Wood, Chris Cotter, and Mark Herzlich here in the booth for the second half as we're just moments away from kickoff. Duke won the coin toss at the start, so they deferred, and Coach Cutcliffe will have an opportunity to get that offense going here in this second half and keep that defense off the field. And a part of that, too, Mark, clearly is going to be Chase Bryce and his confidence. He did have the interception in the first half, was able to hit the big play with Marweedy, the tight end, to get the touchdown, but just 8 of 20 in that first half and harried a bunch, as you would expect from this Virginia defense that loves to put pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, I really anticipate seeing Coach Cutcliffe call some more screen passes out to the wide receivers, some draw plays to his running back, really slow down this pass rush that UVA has.
Phil Yaw-Johnson only able to get out to about the 16-yard line, so Duke will be stuck deep into their own territory. I mentioned Duke got out on top 10-0, and for a team that's 0-2, they were going well. And here Marweedy with the score, but this was really all the offense they were able to muster in that first half.
Yeah, they took advantage of a couple blown coverages by UVA, but really I think the story of the first half is how well UVA was able to run the ball on the ground, not only with Talapapa, but also with Shane Simpson and Brennan Armstrong keeping the ball and picking up yards with his legs.
Bryce now with the fake handoff. He's going to roll to his left. Overshoots his receiver. That was a little bit of a story, not only in the first half of our game, But really, Mark, all season long, as we've seen Duke play Notre Dame and Boston College, as you take a look at the numbers for the first half.
Yeah, and you see a lot of these high throws coming from Chase Bryce. And to me, when I want to see a quarterback throw the ball high, it means he's not really stepping into his throws. He's kind of flicking it off his wrist, off his back foot. That's why he has so many incompletions and inconsistency.
Jackson. Clothesline once again. Nick Jackson there on the stop. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long. Zandier, I know that's your kind of player. It's easy stop.
They run a little cross dog up front with the linebackers and freeze Zane Zandier up to come through. And talk to the coach about him and his leadership. He doesn't really care about leadership. He just wants to play football and hit people. You saw him do that there.
3rd and 10. This is not where Duke wants to be. Pressure from Jackson, but a completion out toward midfield. That's Calhoun, still on his feet, spins away from the tackler and gets into Virginia territory. That's a big 3rd down pickup.
That is a massive 3rd down pickup, Chris. You saw there. Picked up the pressure, a little bit of miscommunication on the outside, but kept the running back and tight end into block. And they freed up Chase Bryce to be able to step up in the pocket, deliver the ball right on target, and to his wide receiver.
Right at midfield now, the fake to Jackson. Bryce again throwing this time to his left, hitting Bobo. I believe that's the first time Bobo's made a catch tonight. Vontae Cross rides him down, but another good pickup for Duke. First catch of the day for Bobo.
Yeah, 2 receivers making catches that we didn't see a lot of in the first half. Good route by Bobo, sticking his foot in the ground and turning back. A lot of these defensive backs for UVA are playing off. Those routes will be open throughout the day.
This time they give to Jackson. Steps into that defensive line, give him 3 yards on 1st down. Again, as much as Duke struggled offensively, particularly in that 2nd quarter, they're only down 7 here at the break. Scoring drive right here, and all of a sudden, this is a completely different game. Bryce the fake to Jackson, pressure coming. Just unloads it. Oh, almost not only just picked off, but Cross might have been gone.
Wow, and that was lucky by Chase Bryce that Devontae Cross wasn't going for 6 points the other way. Pressure off the edge by Blunt, right in the face of the rollout. At that point, you just got to take a sack or duck under. You can't throw that ball up in no man's land.
Empty backfield now on 3rd and 7. Marweedy in motion. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, never got to his intended receiver. Looked like Snowden got those big mitts on it. Coming in at 6'7", he's got a lot of range.
Tell defensive linemen, linebackers, when you're on your pass rush and you don't think you can get to the quarterback, just stick your hands up. Either putting the 2 or 3 yards off the ball, spying the quarterback, and still able to find his way in the lane.
So Charlie Hamm's going to come in and try a long field goal. .47 yards. He's got the distance and the accuracy. So a good start to the 2nd half for the Duke Blue Devils. Charlie Hamm splits the uprights. We've got ourselves a 4-point game here in Charlottesville. Following us here on the ACC Network, 8 o'clock Eastern, it's going to be North Carolina State taking on Virginia Tech. It's our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Virginia Tech has won 4 straight against NC State, but they hadn't even played each other since 2015. Surprisingly, they will tonight, right here on the ACC Network.
Excited to see what Virginia Tech looks like. Bud Foster's no longer there as defensive coordinator, a huge change, and they're taking on an NC State team that really showed out well offensively in their opener.
Yeah, ran the ball really well, you're right. NC State did Persons back healthy for them, and they look really good on the ground, so that'll be a fun one to watch. tonight. Looks like we got a fun second half brewing here. Wasn't sure we'd get it, but Duke taking that first possession in the third quarter and at least getting 3 points out of it. Only down 4.
Gabe Cutcliffe, you saw him pass up a field goal opportunity early with Charlie Ham. Good confidence in his kicker, got points on the board. UVA can match.
Talapapa now trying to bounce it outside. This big old Jameer Carter just hanging all over him. That's Dwayne Carter, excuse me.
Cutcliffe talked about the fatigue with his defense, and I think that had a lot to do with how Wayne Talapapa was able to break so many tackles and drive the pile forward towards the end of that first half. Good job there, stopping him for only a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 8, Virginia looking to move fairly quickly. Jana drops it right in his hands and couldn't squeeze it. 3rd and long.
Just like that, 3rd and 8. Drop passes will lead to this pressure on the quarterback. Brennan Armstrong. A lot of guys split out. He uses legs if he wants to, and has his reliable wide receiver, Jana, number 13 in the slot.
Looking for Kemp coming across the middle. They hook up. Kemp still on his feet. No whistle yet. And that'll be a first down.
That was kind of fun. That was kind of fun play.
Flip back up on his feet. You seen that? That's when being 170 pounds is actually in your favor.
Yeah, for sure.
Just rolls back over the defender, stays on his feet.
Look at that balance. And the awareness also to know that you're not down. He got up right away and continued moving. Really a heads-up play by Jeremiah Lewis to get him down on the ground.
This pass a little bit behind Poljan. He can't squeeze it. Jalen Alexander was there on the coverage for the Duke Blue Devils.
A lot of targets go to that big tight end. 5 targets already today, only 3 times able to complete the catch, but you see how reliable and how trusting Armstrong is in his big tight end.
Keaton Thomas again in the game, split the top of your screen. They give to Talapapa. Just dances his way into the second level. Fry there on the stop, but Talapapa gives him a good gain on 2nd down. Make it 3rd and medium.
Yeah, and Poljan is a guy, not just catch the ball, but we talked to Robert and I, the offensive coordinator, said we finally have a tight end that we can run directly behind. They really like his physicality in the blocking. They lined him up in the backfield on that play as the lead blocker. Now he's out for this 3rd and 5.
Armstrong try to get it to his running back, and does, but Simpson can't keep his feet. As Shaka Hayward was there to bring him down, and he'll bring up 4th down.
Indecisiveness by Simpson, the running back who was coming out of the backfield. He had to check pressure coming off the edge first, and just was unsure whether the D-end was going to come or not, and ended up stuttering, allowing time for Shaka Hayward to get him down. And really good stop by Duke defensively. In order to kind of get back in this game, get more touches in Chase Bryce's hands, they forced a punt, and they're going to have a pretty decent field position to start this next drive.
Nash Griffin back to punt for Virginia. Gets off a kick that's going to bounce. It's going to take a Virginia bounce. And down at about the 15-yard line. Duke takes back over, down 4 when we come back.
I had a unique experience this morning in doing the march that was formed by the groundskeepers, a group of University of Virginia football players as well as their coach, Marcus Higgins. And what they did was they created a march from Heather Higher Way to the Memorial of Enslaved Laborers all the way up to the Rotunda. And when you complete this march, you are saying that you are for unity and you are for change in the city of Charlottesville. And they gave me a bracelet that they give everybody who completes this march. And this will mean a lot to me. And on the bracelet it says, "Take back our grounds." And that's a reference to the campus here that they call the grounds.
First down for Duke from their own 15. Jackson, who lined up outside on the screen, and he's going to lose yardage.
Yeah, really phenomenal. This groundskeepers was started really following conversations that the UVA football players had via Zoom after the death of George Floyd. And that march actually covers the opposite direction of the ground that the white nationalists marched in Charlottesville in 2007 during the Unite the Right rally, in which caused the death of some protesters. And they really are taking back the grounds and protecting their grounds. And we have all been well aware that racism and injustice is not gone in America. In the Washington Post article, just a few weeks following the George Floyd death, there's still volunteer armed statue guards set up beside the statue of Confederate leaders Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson in Charlottesville. So great work by these young men on this UVA campus.
Third down for Chase Bryce. Has a receiver open, and they hook up just shy of midfield. And that's one of the better strikes he's fired all day long. Darryl Harding Jr. on the receiving end.
A big young target for Chase Bryce, and he was going against Nick Grant, number 1 at cornerback. He's a guy that Nick Howell really targeted and said he needs to get better and play better than he did last year. Got beat on that pass.
Jackson tough running inside. 6 good yards into Virginia territory before Noah Taylor and D'Angelo Amos are there to stop him.
Think about this groundkeepers and this mission that football players all over the country have taken upon themselves to make it about more than just football, and really, really great to see them doing that and take that upon themselves in such a time as this.
Bryce over the head of his intended receiver. Tried to hook up with Phil Johnson. He'll bring up 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 is so much better than 3rd and 12, which you saw a lot of times in the first half. And just also impressive. If you're going to play a field position game and get forced into punts, at least you're crossing midfield. Remember, this drive started from inside Duke's own 15-yard line, now crossing midfield, getting into striking position.
Quick out. Marweedy trying to find that first down marker, and he spins and gets there.
Mr. Marweedy again. Yeah. Didn't think we'd call his name as much as we are. Thought Noah Gray might get those targets, but good job, good route. Working against D'Angelo Amos. Turned upfield, first down.
Duke once again putting a drive together. Bryce trying to go downfield into a lot of traffic, and just as I say that, he throws a pick. Seemed ill-advised on that pass, Mark, and Brenton Nelson made him pay.
And you're gaining a little bit of confidence in your wide receivers, a little bit of pressure up front by Richard Burney, and just throwing into double, really almost triple coverage with 3 defenders there, and Chase Bryce is kicking himself right now. He knows that that's not what he wanted. This UVA defense, give them credit, disguising a lot of their coverages. Brenton Nelson was the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2017, and lost to injury, lost 8 games. They were really excited to get him back and knew he would make a difference.
Armstrong taking over now from his own 2. Midway through this 3rd quarter. From his end zone, going up top. Trying to find Davis. And defended nicely on the play by Lummy Young. Young's given up about 6 inches to Lavelle Davis Jr.
Good job. He doesn't let his eyes turn back. Anytime you turn back to the football to look at where it is, you tend to drift away from the wide receiver. He kept his eyes right on the belly button, almost, maybe because he's so much shorter, but the belly button of the receiver was able to knock the ball out.
Armstrong again from his own end zone. This time he tucks it up and runs and picks up a yard. Carter and Derek Tangelo combining to make the stop. So here we are again with Virginia at 3rd and long from the shadow of their own goalpost.
Yeah, 3rd and long. This is where Duke's defense usually gets off. Derek Tangelo, Victor Kimukeji, Chris Rump getting some pressure on the quarterbacks. They haven't gotten any sacks so far in this game. But so important to force this 3 and out to gain the field position advantage for the offense and chase Bryce on the next possession.
This could be a free play. So Armstrong has that going for him, and he's going to go downfield and just can't connect with Davis. You think a receiver that's 6'7", you can't overthrow him, and he just overthrows him.
Overthrows him, and good job by Brennan Armstrong using the hard count. When you're a defender,
5-yard penalty.
When you're a defender and you're down there, you tell yourself, earmuffs, earmuffs. It's like you got to wear earmuffs so you don't jump off sides. It's a free 5 yards, gets him out of the shadow of your own end zone. Really good job by Brennan Armstrong, and lack of discipline by Dimukeji and this Duke defensive line.
So a much more manageable 3rd and 4 for Brennan Armstrong. Again, making his first career start here. Replacing Bryce Perkins, the all-time passing and total offense leader in Virginia history. Armstrong has time, tries to float it, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 10-yard line and brought down at the 8-yard line. That's Rocky Shelton. In a stunning turn of events, Duke is right back in the red zone, trailing by just 4.
Rocky Shelton, he's the one who will come away with it, but this play was made by Jeremiah Lewis. And Jeremiah Lewis is going to get a great jam on the wide receiver, deterring his route. That was to Terrell Jana. Got a great jam on Terrell Jana. Wasn't in the spot that Brennan Armstrong thought he would be. Resulted in an interception, and really need a good job here by punching in the end zone, but great play by Duke's defense to just give this offense another opportunity.
First career interception for Rocky Shelton, and the second career interception thrown by Armstrong, which obviously means second in this game, setting Duke up in a great spot. Deion Jackson behind Chase Bryce. They give to Jackson along the right side. Maybe picks up a yard.
Take another look at the interception play. Look at 39 at the bottom of your screen. He's all over Terrell Jana, and as Jana tries to pivot out, just nowhere for Brennan Armstrong to throw the ball. Ill-advised throw. There was more of a jam on the play, but good job, opportunistic by Rocky Shelton.
Bryce now with an empty backfield, has time over the top, hits his tight end Noah Gray for the score.
Really good play call. Really good play call by David Cutcliffe. Calling plays for the first time since 2007 when he was at Tennessee. Lined up in an empty set. Got your all-world tight end Noah Gray in a zone defense against a linebacker. Gave him a little out and up. Patent move by tight ends in the red zone for a touchdown.
Ham for the try. Nice job by Jackson Hubbard, the holder, to get it down, and it is good.
We call this a nod route by the tight end. He just nods right at the linebacker, goes over top. Bryce is fired up, get the touchdown. UVA ball, we come back.
Duke has taken a 3-point lead here in Charlottesville, converting yet another turnover into points. Here's the interception.
Yeah, good job by the interception, and creating points off turnovers is something Duke hasn't been great at, but they did here. And you look at the nod route by Noah Gray, just worked his way into Zane Zandier, who needs to take his tight end vertical. It's a little bit of a, oh, by the way, a caveat to the normal rule in cover 4, but in that situation, you need to take your tight end number 3 all the way to the back of the end zone. Good job by Duke capitalizing on UVA's mistake.
Charlie Ham boots it into the end zone. We'll get a touchback, and Virginia will start from their own 25. And Brennan Armstrong, who got off to a slow start, then really picked things up in the second half, helped primarily by a really strong running game for Virginia, has also struggled here in the second half.
Yeah, has struggled, and I think one of the reasons is you look at this Duke defense, and they got tired at the end of the first half, and they got a chance to catch their breath at halftime, came out here in the second half to started playing well against the run, and forced Brennan Armstrong into some tough throws on third down.
Officials getting together to discuss the clock. You saw there momentarily, Duke, first time they've led a game in the second half all year.
You see right there, actual whistle in the ref's mouth. That's new this week.
Right.
Decided to allow actual whistles along with the electronic whistles as long as the refs are away from the players.
Armstrong low, but certainly a catchable ball by Kemp. It'll bring up second down. Behind the chains. It seems like for a team that ran the ball so well, Mark, in the second quarter, they've just been behind the chains here in the second half.
Yeah, and that's really been the story of the game for both offenses. Is seemingly, if you're not productive on first down, it's been very difficult for either team to capitalize on drives.
Quick little shovel pass to Kemp. Tries the outside, getting 5 before Shaka is there to make the stop. Third down here for Virginia, rather.
Good play by Shaka, just getting over top of the big offensive tackle and getting downhill. Shaka Hayward's a guy who, first year starting, really impressed by what he can do physically and mentally.
Janet, can he get the first down? He stretches for the marker. I think he got it. He did. Good individual effort. He may be shaken up on the play, too.
Slow to get up. He was 4th in the ACC last year with 74 catches on the season. He averaged 12 yards per reception. He's a very productive wide receiver. He was in basically that number 3 spot with Joe Reed and Jesus Dubois on the team as well. So now being really the number 1 target for the top cornerback on the team, slowed down a little bit in this game. Let's hopefully it's just a cramp. These bunch routes that UVA has utilized have been very effective against both zone and man defense that Duke has been playing. Wasn't sure how much man Duke would play coming to this game with their 2 top cornerbacks hurt, but they have felt very confident in Jeremiah Lewis and Leonard Johnson so far in this game.
Eric Wood, what's going on?
Similar to the start of the NFL season, where with no preseason and not a lot of contact, there was a ton of injuries. We've seen a lot of injuries early in the season for both these teams. We mentioned earlier, both of Duke's starting quarterbacks out for this game, and then Virginia with a huge layoff before their first game, already with an injury to Nick Jackson. Fortunately, he's been able to come back, but now Terrell Jan is down on the field. We're just seeing a lot of injuries early in the season for both college and NFL players coming off the COVID break.
Yeah, Jan is having to be helped off the field, although it appears like he might be able to on his own if he so chooses to, but getting helped off the field at the moment. Bronco obviously concerned about both Jan and the way things are going right now in this game. Momentum clearly switched to the other side. But a first down for Virginia. Nice move by Talapapa. That's from running on the sand all summer long, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. That was nice. That was a really nice move by Talapapa. He's known for being kind of that hammer inside, breaking tackles between the tackles. But he just put Lummy Young on skates on that last run.
Dancing. Now let's see what he can do on the pass receiving side. Not much, as the defense was right there. Hayward and company there to bring him down. Let's take a look at that move by Talapapa on that last run.
Good cut, bouncing outside. I mean, this is going to be,
umpire.
Yeah, this is going to be like probably one of the nicest compliments he's ever gotten. But that Look a little bit like Barry Sanders. I mean, I'm just going to say, a little jump cut to the outside, going back inside a little bit. I like that run. I like it. I like it a lot.
Brent Mish, the tight end, now in the backfield for Virginia. Talapapa runs behind him on that right side. You get maybe a couple.
Yeah, gosh, what an offseason for Talapapa. I mean, when you go home and, you're going home to parts of Virginia or maybe Georgia, you got Zoom calls with your team. That's no big deal. You're on the same time zone. He had to go back to Oahu. He was in Hawaii. And so that was 3 a.m. his time. And he was taking these Zoom calls and coaches meetings in his closet so that he wouldn't wake the rest of his family. Oh, man, at least you're up at 3 a.m. in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be up at 3 a.m.
Virginia 4 for 12 on the day on third down. Armstrong flushed. Sidearm throws it. Dangerous. And it goes incomplete.
Well, Brennan Armstrong wants to keep improving his game. Those are throws he can't make. Rolling out to his right, throwing back over across the middle to the left. And you think about Wayne Talapapa. You're up 3 a.m. You're a college kid. He has the presence of mind to hide in the closet. I'm sure his parents are very thankful for that. Because that's an early rise. It's an early rise. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think I would be that considerate of my family in college, but who knows? Good for him.
Get done with the Zoom call. Sun's just starting to rise. Go catch the surf. Might as well make the most of it.
Get out there for
the punch. Yeah. Trying to angle it to the corner and just catches the end zone for the touchback. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Sunday Best here on the ACC Network. It starts with a women's field hockey doubleheader at noon. Wake Forest and Virginia, followed by Duke and Louisville. Then a classic women's soccer rivalry. Number 1 North Carolina taking on number 7 Duke at 3:30. Sunday Best, right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Not only do I love the fact, Mark, that we get a lot of ACC football on the ACC Network here, but over the first couple of years, you and I both know we love lacrosse season, but field hockey too, an opportunity to see some sports that you don't get an opportunity to see very often. Maybe on ESPN or ESPN2. The ACC Network gives you the opportunity to see all of those spring sports and great sports, fun to watch. Nice run on first down by Duke. That's Durant. He's able to pick up a first down.
Oh, Mateo Durant, good job showing his speed on that run. Turn to the edge and saw him dip that shoulder down, that right shoulder. He just excels past Joey Blunt. Ooh. Durant, here's my shoulder.
Durant again, this time cuts it back upside, but right inside the teeth of that Virginia defense. Won't get much. Jameer Carter was there to stuff it.
Dave Cutcliffe talked about his offensive line finishing blocks, and you can just see that initial surge by the offensive line, but just not able to climb to the second level. And if they are able to get on some of these linebackers, that 2-yard gain is a 5-yard gain. Second and 5 is a whole lot different than second and 8.
Deion Jackson now back at the tailback spot for Duke. Fake to him. Bryce is going to try and go up top. Try to get to Pankole. There's a flag on the play. He was held. Nelson, I think, is going to be the guilty party.
Pass interference. Defense, number 28. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Indeed, and the drive continues for the Blue Devils.
We've seen a lot of these deep shots by Chase Bryce throughout the game. We talked to him a little bit just in terms of the differences between Clemson and Duke. And he said, when I was being recruited to come to Duke after entering the transfer portal, I loved what I saw from the wide receiver position, but what you get at Clemson is you get guys who can go up and they make 50-50 balls, 70-30 balls, so not as accurate as he needs to be on these ones in this game.
Jackson bursts through the hole, has a lot of room, stays on his feet, inside the 25, down to the 22. "25 yards before Matt Gamm was able to bring him down.
Number 63, Jacob Monk, the right guard, got up on Zane Zandier on that play. Got to the second level. Deion Jackson, great job getting through the hole.
Could be a double pass. But Calhoun's in a little bit of trouble here. Now he throws downfield. Dangerous pass, and it's intercepted. Nelson made up for the holding call by picking this one off and getting it back to Virginia.
Oh, man.
And Calhoun is down.
Yeah, Calhoun is down and
Timeout, injured Duke player.
in obvious pain. The play call was setting up relatively nicely. You throw the ball out to your wide receiver who was a high school quarterback. Let him make a play, but too much pressure and ill-advised throw. That's not a throw that you ever coach a wide receiver on. Let's hope he's okay.
Nelson with the INT. He was shaped, he bobbled the initial lateral, and then he was in trouble from the start. Just too much pressure.
Yeah, Nick Grant really just worked through the block of Noah Gray to get in the face of Jalen Calhoun. And watch at the end of this play. After he throws the ball, just you can tell the number of who hit him, but whoever hit him very hard.
And he was in a compromising position, too, having just thrown the football. Well, that ovation you hear is Calhoun, Jalen Calhoun, getting up, walking off under his own power. That's a great sign. Great to see.
And that big hit, a lot of times there's flags that come out just because of how big the hit was, but it did look like it was shoulder pad to shoulder pad, not hitting a defensive player. I think good no call on targeting, just a physical play, and good to see him get up off the field. It's a turnover by UVA, and that's their third of the day.
Interesting series of momentum swings here, too. Can this Virginia offense now capitalize and keep their defense off the field? Duke's defense was on the field almost the whole first half. It's been the exact opposite here in the second half. Armstrong getting some good yardage with his legs on first down.
Yeah, why not? I mean, what got your offense going in the first half? A nice drive, sprinkling in some of the quarterback power plays, get your quarterback running the ball, set up some different pass stuff down the field, but just being able to have your quarterback run the ball brings an extra safety down into the box and opens up some of the outside passing lanes for the wide receivers.
Talapapa caught in the backfield, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, and is just fighting his way. Still on his feet, and maybe even picks up a little bit.
Picked up a few yards, and this just comes down to who wants it more. Right there,
it's all over
him in the backfield. Got 3 or 4 guys around his legs, and he just keeps driving his legs, and that's effort. I mean, that is effort, and if he can maintain that same effort throughout this season, he's going to have a very good season.
Final minute of this third quarter. Talapapa through the hole. Gain of about 7 on first down. This will be a first down, for the Wahoos as the clock winds down here in this third quarter. So they've gotten out of trouble in terms of being deep in their own territory. Check that box. Now can they mount a sustained drive here to end the third and start the fourth? Lavelle Davis in motion. We give to Simpson. Leaps over defender, gets about 5 on first down, and that'll do it for the third quarter. We got a good fourth quarter coming your way. Duke has rebounded here in the second half to take a 3-point lead at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. Back to the Commonwealth after this. Start of the fourth quarter in Charlottesville. Duke has stormed back with a resoundingly strong third quarter to take the lead over the Cavaliers. Virginia has the football, though, on their own 26-yard line after an interception. Simpson in motion. He'll be on the receiving end. Has a man to beat. Can't do it, but he does pick up solid yardage. Alexander was out there to make the tackle, but not before Simpson was able to pick up a first down.
Yeah, Simpson's going to bring a little bit of this running back out of the backfield 5-out ability. He's hobbled a little bit on that tackle, looks like.
Staying in, though, as Virginia wants to go quickly. Jan is back in the game. That's good news for Virginia fans. Trying to go up top to Davis, who makes the catch. That's the benefit of having a 6'7" receiver on the outside.
Yeah, when you tip it at the high point, you have 6 feet and almost 10 feet to catch the ball again on the way down. Good concentration by the young freshman to pull that ball in. Up until that point, hadn't had a completion over 20 yards in this entire game for UVA. That one went for 27 in the long of the night.
Talapapa back in the backfield with Armstrong. Whistles blow this one dead before it ever gets started.
Ruling on the field is a catch. Previous play is under further review.
Rick Page, our replay official, will take another look at that catch by Lavelle Davis. Obviously, what they're looking at here is if he was able to secure it as he went to the ground.
You see the tip, bottom tip of the football hit the ground. Tough to tell whether, tough to tell whether he had control before that hit or if he trapped it on the ground. After the ball hit the ground, there was not a lot of movement, but the question is, at what point do they determine that he gained possession of that football? To me, like you said, a tough call situation. You go with the call on the field. Take a good look at this one, though.
That ball can hit the ground as long as you rule that he had possession of it first. Which, that's the call on the field, and Mark, you have to have enough to overturn it. I'm not sure you do on this replay. Although we've been wrong already this year, we've been wrong.
Oh, yeah, of course we have. Of course we have. that's why we're calling the game and not making the rules. But
that's correct.
This is a bang-bang, and
that's why Rick Page is making the call.
Right?
Both coaches on the left. Yeah, this is a big play for both of them. Virginia's starting to get rolling offensively again. The masked officials on the right, including our referee today, Gary Patterson.
Here's an interesting thought, too. Right now, Dave Cutcliffe is waiting on the ruling of this completion, no completion. He also is calling the plays for the offense, and this is one of the things that he talked about as a disadvantage to calling the plays. Right now, when his defense is on the field, he's not scheming. He's not looking at kind of what all the options are for the whole playbook, what they should do next drive out. He's being a full head coach right now. So much prep has to go into the week leading into the game that not a lot of that thought process has to go on during the game.
Don't you think you have to be a coach with his experience to be able to do that? Because he has to know, and he's seen it a million times, how every play and everything sets up in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a reason why he's the most tenured coach in the ACC and the only coach who does that. He has that confidence in himself. He doesn't like doing it per se, but he felt it gave his team the best opportunity to be successful this year, especially with a new quarterback in Chase Price.
They've been looking at this one for a long time.
And as they look at this play, whether it's complete or incomplete, they got to see where exactly the ball will be spot in each situation. Well, he buried the lead nicely with the long replay review, and then his mic cut out.
Just the most inopportune time.
Reading lips, that should change to second down. Looks like they're going to call that incomplete.
Yeah, overturned. The call on the field was a completed pass. 27-yard completion wiped out. They'll bring it back. It'll be second down for Virginia. Take one last look at it. Ball just coming through, and the ruling was that it did hit the ground before Lavelle Davis was able to secure it.
Yeah, that's a great zoom look by the camera team right at the end there. I do think that ball bobbled, trapped it under his body. We'll change it to second down. And second and 10. Opportunity. Still no passes completed over 20 yards for Brennan Armstrong.
Please reset the clock to 14 minutes, 35 seconds. 14 minutes, 35 seconds.
Officials making sure the clocks are right, the placement is right. Now it's looking like we're ready to get going. Kemp in motion. Armstrong now changing the play. Now Talapapa in motion out of the backfield. Duke stunning up the middle. Has Jana open at midfield. Brought down to the 48. It'll be a first down in the Duke territory.
That was really the first time all night we saw Brennan Armstrong step into pressure and throw the ball. As you watch the outside release by Davis, really opened up the middle for Terrell Jana. Good throw, stepping into the pressure, completing a long ball down the field.
Armstrong, now he's going to be dropped. DeMukage finally got him, Mark.
Yeah, finally got him. He's been right there a bunch today. He's been held sackless. At 3.5 sacks last week versus Boston College, and you knew it was only a matter of time before he got to the quarterback. And this is the thing about Victor DeMukage. He goes on hot streaks. He will maybe go, held sackless for 2 or 3 games, and then all of a sudden get 3.5, 4 sacks a game. So if he gets something that he thinks is going to work, he'll go back to it.
And that was big. Virginia now way behind the chains. 2nd down and 19. Armstrong again changing the play as Talapapa flanking him in the backfield. He'll look to throw. Puts it up, trying to find his big receiver again. This time he does. No question about this one. Lavelle Davis brings this one down. A big gain.
Wow, this was a wild throw by Brennan Armstrong. Again, DeMukage looped around and was getting some pressure, but after that little clutch, just threw it up there, and it really, I think, probably a miscommunication with the wide receivers, both in the same spot, but good concentration by Davis and came down with it. A lot of targets Davis's way throughout this game. Billy Kemp creating almost a bunch set. This is where they maybe flare the running back out in the pass.
Talapapa staying in the protect, going to the big receiver again in the end zone, and he comes down with it. What a catch by Davis.
Well, the 800 Virginia fans are cheering loud because I can hear them. I can hear them through my headset, and they better be cheering. I mean, this is a showing for Lavelle Davis, and good for Brennan Armstrong to continuously go back to him over and over again. But this is a ball that...
Oh, and he got that foot down.
Just a great play. And look at him hug on the ball. He's not letting that one go. He's not letting that one be reviewed.
Rolling on the field is a catch for a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
All scoring plays are reviewed, and this one is obviously not as much of a slam dunk as some of the others. So our replay official, Rick Page, will just confirm that Davis not only secured the ball, but also got that 1 foot necessary inbounds for the score.
We talked to Brocco Mendenhall a little bit about his recruiting. And you look at this recruiting class that's come in this year as freshmen, and not one player in that recruiting class was under 6 feet. He talks about length, that you just can't coach height. And as you watch that ball come down, looks like he pinned his elbow underneath it, and that ball did not move. Roll at the end of there. But
the key is the ball moving, and does he get a foot in bounds before his body hits the orange that is out of bounds? See right what comes down first. So that's that elbow comes down first, Mark. And
yeah,
that would be a
hits.
touchdown.
I think that toe hit too. I think the question is just whether that ball started moving. And as long as it stays kind of pinned against his body, he's okay. Again, this was called a touchdown on the field. Can't even tell whether the ball hit the ground at all.
So the elbow is good. We got that one down. Now it's whether the ball moves or not after he hits the ground.
Yep, and Yeah, they saw right there, that ball, although it hits the turf, it does not bobble out of his hands. They made the correct ruling, call confirmed, touchdown. That's a happy young man. It should be, that was a great play.
Brian Delaney in for the point after try for Virginia. They've just retaken the lead. And they've extended it to 4 points. They finally got to play, Mark, and they're excited about it.
Oh, they're pumped up. They got some big plays out of their big receiver and confidence. Brendan Armstrong on that drive. Let's see if Duke and Chase Bryce can match this intensity when we come back.
Zane Zandier's family out in full force today. They're happy. They're getting to see Zane a lot today. Career high 15 tackles, including 2 TFLs for Virginia, and his Hoos have just taken the lead.
That's a lot of tackles, Chris. 15 tackles.
All over the place.
The start of the 4th quarter, that's why.
Delaney with another touchback. Back and forth we go in this second half. Let's see what Chase Bryce has in store.
It doesn't get any easier at any point for either of these quarterbacks. You score a big touchdown, you make a big play, and it gets answered right back. A little bit of healthy competition here between 2 first-year starting quarterbacks, but I think a lot of their play is predicated on that offensive line and how well they can allow the quarterback to have time to go through his reads and make the plays necessary in order to pick up first downs.
Bryce quickly outside. Receiver makes the catch and stays in bounds. Picks up an extra couple of yards. That's Dennis Smith.
Talked earlier in the game about Virginia playing off on a lot of these wide receivers, trying to break down the ball. But Duke has broken a lot of tackles. You saw Nick Grant miss that one on the stiff arm. Yards after catch are being big for Duke on this drive and throughout this game.
Fumble. And Bryce is just going to have to fall on it, and that's big too because the momentum was there for the Blue Devils, and now they're behind the chains.
Yeah, Bryce looked up and saw number 11, Charles Snowden, coming right at him. Probably a good choice, especially after some of the ill-advised interceptions. To fall on that, play another down. Max protects that with that tight end in behind the tackle.
Fake to Jackson. Chase double pumps. Again connects. And again, it's Dennis Smith.
Duke has had its most success this game when they have kept 2 blockers in. Allow these routes down the field. Good job coming back to the football, but yeah, you saw that double clutch by Chase Bryce. The timing is still not there with these wide receivers. So little time preparing for this season.
35. Pressure comes up the middle. Bryce gets it off, and it's intercepted. Joey Blunt picks it off and gives it right back to Virginia at midfield.
First down.
Wow. Joey Blunt, fantastic play and trying to force it. Chase Bryce knew the game was in his hands at this point. Obviously a lot of football left to play, but you see the length that Charles Snowden brings. His big 6'7" body forces that route to go a little bit farther than Chase wanted to throw it. Joey Blunt, good bluff in the coverage and just hopped in, picked off the pass. Good interception.
4th turnover of the day for the Duke Blue Devils. It sets Virginia up at the Duke 49-yard line.
I would love to see UVA take a shot here after a big turnover. And the man coverage on the outside. Ooh, interesting.
Look at this play. Direct snap to Talapapa. And Thompson's going to go deep. And he almost throws a pick. He was going deep for Armstrong because Thompson was a former quarterback at Mississippi State.
Oh my goodness. Well, they did the shot that I wanted him to do. It was in a wacky fashion.
I love it, though. Armstrong was acting like he was changing the play and just ran a pattern.
Gosh, man, heads-up play by Jamerick Woods, the transfer out of Michigan. He's a grad transfer. He's seen it all. I don't know if you've seen that before, but he stayed on the quarterback.
Really
did. That pass.
Talapapa, he might have something here. Stays on his feet and gets down to the 40, just shy of the first down. He will bring up third down and short. Good block on the outside by Lavelle Davis, the true freshman. He showed what he can do, hauling in those passes at the high point. Sets a nice block on the edge.
So important in order to get production from your running back on those pass routes, to have the wide receivers buy into blocking. You're absolutely right. Lavelle Davis did a great job, along with Terrell Jana, to get Talapapa that first down.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 1.
Sorry, not the first down.
Poljan. Oh, he almost stayed on his feet, but he does pick up the first. Waters was there to just trip him up where he might have gone to the end zone.
Concentration by Poljan. And Armstrong threw it in there. Duke defensively, looks like they're getting tired on that defensive front, standing up a little longer. Hands on their hips.
Woods picked up. Armstrong connects again with Davis. Can he get into the end zone? He does! What an effort! Welcome to Charlottesville, Lavelle Davis Jr.
Welcome to Charlottesville. Welcome to college football. This is the best throw that Brennan Armstrong has thrown the entire night. It's a wide comeback route by his wide receiver. He puts it on target. And man, Lavelle Davis fighting off tacklers, spinning into the end zone. Goes in for his second touchdown of the day.
4 catches, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the true freshman from Dorchester, South Carolina. Delaney converts, and Virginia strikes quickly a couple of times here in this 4th quarter to not only retake the lead, but to extend it. Yeah, Armstrong fired up his first career start here in Charlottesville. Virginia up 11. Thank you, JC. Looking forward to hearing from you and the crew after we wrap things up here in Charlottesville, back in studio. Look at the score by quarters. Usually, Mark, that doesn't really tell you a whole lot. Today, it tells you everything. Every other quarter, one team has been dominant. Here in the 4th quarter, Virginia has, and that's why they've been able to forge this 11-point lead.
Yeah, they have, and it's all about timing. When do you get hot, especially even in a game? And Lavelle Davis has gotten hot. Brennan Armstrong has gotten hot, and even just the time of possession right now, UVA has had the ball for 9 more minutes than Duke, and you could tell by some of those missed tackles on that last drive. But man, how about that? 4 receptions, 101 yards. Not bad, averaging 25 yards per catch.
First college game. It's been a long wait, and it's been worth it for Lavelle Davis. He's enjoying it on the sideline, but as we've seen in this game too, Mark, momentum swings. We've had a lot of them, and we still have 10 minutes left to play. Chase Bryce back to pass. Getting it out to, or tried to get it to Deion Jackson, just overshoots him. Just too much pressure. Zane Xanthier is having an unbelievable game. Put the pressure on him.
Yeah, he has, and he's always around the ball, making tackles, getting to the quarterback. And see here, you talk about finishing blocks. You just saw him slip past Jacob Monk, the right guard, because the ball might have been out already. He just kind of stopped blocking.
2nd and 10. Snowden showing pressure on the edge. Now stunts inside. Picked up, though. Bryce has time. Now he's sacked. Jawan Briggs got him. That was a coverage sack.
Yeah, that was a coverage sack. And gosh, Juwan Briggs, he's a guy who was a true freshman last year, played a lot. Coaches were so impressed by how he worked in this offseason, came back even better, and just a really fantastic young man. He plays 10 instruments, Chris, and sings in the UVA choir.
That's like Prince.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Pressure coming. Bobo steps up. Bryce has a man downfield. Unfortunately, he overshoots him, and that's intercepted. Nick Grant. Nick Grant was playing center field, and another interception, number 4 on the day for Chase Bryce.
Yeah, you know, you could tell some of these last routes, he just hasn't been consistent with his receivers. It's going to take a lot more for them to get back in this game. Big turnover forced by UVA on that last drive. It's an 11-point game as we come back to Charlottesville. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and turnovers have been the name of the game. 5 turnovers by Duke this week, 5 turnovers last week, and just inconsistency by Chase Bryce with the ball in the air. And you really feel for Chase Bryce coming in, very short offseason, just doesn't have the timing with his wide receivers synced up, and has resulted in capitalizing on some different turnovers for UVA. It's going to take a lot for him to get in that rhythm with these wide receivers, and these first 3 weeks have been no help for that young man.
You can tell the frustration. 5 turnovers again today after 5 last week, and you know, Coach Cutcliffe talked about it, how he has to make it fun for him. You know, he doesn't want the weight of the world on his shoulders. Just go out there and have fun. You're not gonna, you know, you're gonna be less effective if you're tight and you aren't having fun. And right now, and losing is never fun, and that's what Duke is going through right now. Not over yet, though. 8.5 left to go. The defense needs to get the ball back to their offense, though. Armstrong will need to keep it himself. Slides, stay in bounds, smart play. Third down.
Good pickup on the ground. Armstrong, and yeah, I mean, you have both of these quarterbacks they're both first-year starters, but they're in a very different position. Chase Bryce has been here. Brennan Armstrong has been at UVA. He's gotten the experience. He's trained under another quarterback, and you know, Chase Bryce is completely new. You know, he came out here, wanted to get to work early, moved out to Duke in June, but really couldn't even do anything until July, and didn't even meet his teammates until August. So,
breaking the huddle with more than 11 players.
Substitution fraction.
Still third down.
Very short amount of time. Yeah, very short amount of time to be able to get on the same page with wide receivers. It's shown the first 3 weeks.
Armstrong with this latest flurry in the fourth quarter, getting his completion percentage up over 50%. Nice catch. Kemp made a really nice grab on the sideline to pick up close to first down yardage. It looks like he's going to come maybe a yard short. Watch this catch.
Man-to-man coverage, back shoulder throw. I mean, that's a perfect throw by Brennan Armstrong. Perfect. It's a perfect throw. Great catch by Kemp, right. But this is what winning does, right? Winning creates confidence, and both quarterbacks struggled early in this game, but as this lead has increased for UVA, you've seen Brennan Armstrong settle into himself and make throws like that.
On 4th and 1, Bronco opting to go for it.
Ruling on the field was the ball carried down at the 46-yard line. Previous plays under further review.
So we'll look at the catch in the spot on this play. Beautiful one-handed catch by Kemp on that back shoulder throw. Did he make the catch? A, and B, where should the ball be spotted? Take another look. As he 47.
Yeah, as he comes down with the ball, I think where the ball is when that knee touches down, it might be closer to the 47, could still be just short of the first down, but instead of a full yard, maybe half a yard, and it looks like he possesses the ball the entire time.
Yeah, maybe between the 46 and 47, and I can't see any reason to overturn the catch. Heck of a catch.
The ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
Not enough to overturn it, so the ruling stands. 4th down and 1. Bronco was opting to go for it before in his own territory near midfield. Let's see what he chooses to do here with just under 7 to play. Looks like that offense is going to stay on the field. Nope, now he's rethought it.
It's a smart decision by Bronco Mendenhall. No reason to put any momentum in the hands of Duke. Bobbled snap, stop, and that 4th and short. Gives good field position for Chase Bryson. Still 11-point game.
Let's see if Nash Griffin can bury the Blue Devils deep. No, more whistles.
Timeout, Virginia.
Timeout by Virginia. Not everybody was on the field. There was a substitution error. They're missing the right tackle on the punt team.
Virginia's up 11. We'll be right back after this. Broncos had time to think about it, called a timeout. Will he go for it? Will he punt it? I see Nash Griffin still in the game, so it looks like that was just because they didn't have enough players on the field. Call the timeout. Get the right personnel out there, and Nash Griffin now will punt it back to Duke. Again, 6:41 left in the game. Jake Bobo standing back to retrieve this punt. Duke's going to want to come after it. And they do. Griffin gets it off. Bobo lets it sail over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. Eric Woods down in the field.
At this point, Chase Bryce is standing on the sideline with his helmet off. Number 12, Gunnar Holmberg, is getting out into the huddle with the starters. It appears like him or Chris Kaepernick is going to take over after all those interceptions from Chase Bryce. And, you know, you alluded to it, Cotter. All week, all Cutcliffe wanted to see from Chase Bryce is to cut loose and have fun. And, man, he just seemed to be struggling so bad early in this season.
Yeah, the struggles have certainly been there during all 3 games. He's had moments, but oftentimes he's been running for his life in this game. So we'll get an opportunity to see Gunnar Holmberg, the 6'3", 205-pound sophomore at Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Yeah, Dave Cutcliffe talked about Gunnar Holmberg a little bit this week. He said he's the best athlete of the 3 guys. He had a knee injury in 2019 that kept him out. You saw right off the first play, using his legs, pick up some yards.
Quick handoff to Durant. Maybe a couple before Noah Taylor drops him as we go under 6 minutes left to play. 3rd down and 3. Oh boy, Holmberg was just met. Gam was there, Blunt. Welcome to the game.
Well, this is a go for it, obvious go for it on 4th and 1 situation. You need 2 scores in this game. Obviously, this is the most important yard of the entire game. Holmberg has, shown already in first 3 plays that he can do it on the ground.
Timeout, Virginia. That's their second timeout in the half.
Virginia calls a timeout. Don't forget, tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern, Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Mark Richt will break down the entire day of ACC college football. It's the Huddle right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Georgia Tech at Syracuse. Syracuse with a big win today in basically the refurbished Carrier Dome. Looks totally different from the outside. They got a big win against Georgia Tech. Louisville and Pitt went right down to the wire. Florida State and Miami tonight. NC State and Virginia Tech on the ACC Network. A lot to talk about tonight on the Huddle.
Yeah, scary injury from Mikael Cunningham at the end of that Louisville game. Hopefully he's going to be all right. We'll be waiting for reports on that. But that'd be a big loss for the Cardinals.
Big loss, you're right. They're 1-2 on the year. Scott Satterfield.
Quarterback sneak here. He's under center.
4th and 1. Oh, he fumbles the football on the fake. Ball still down on the ground, picked up by Virginia, and the Hoos will have it at the 10-yard line.
Now we're going to put your backup quarterback in the position to be under center. That this is the first time Duke has gone under center the entire game. We expect him to take the snap from Will Taylor, a guy who just not as used to taking snaps from, and it's all in his head, and got the snap and just dropped it. So good play defensively. Yeah, good play defensively by UVA, but this is another turnover Duke has had, and turnovers have just really hurt them offensively so far this season.
Their 6th of the night. And Virginia in position to put this one away.
It's going to throw him a go route up there to the belt.
Talapapa inside the 5. Keeps churning. Keeps churning inside the 2. Into the end zone.
Goodness. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. Duke had him stopped, and I mean that is just all effort. All effort by Talapapa.
So Boda with a big block too.
Look at that, he stopped at the 4-yard line. His helmet comes off.
I saw a mouthpiece fly out of there. The earpiece from the helmet flies off.
Oh yeah.
Delaney with the try, perfect. Virginia extends their lead to 18.
I think out of all the plays that Bronco Mendenhall is going to show to his team tomorrow, this quite possibly could be his favorite play. Watch the offensive line just get in there and push behind Wayne Talapapa. And you talk about finishing. In order for UVA to take that next step in terms of their progression as a football team, they need to finish correctly. Great job on the finish there by Wayne Talapapa and his offensive line.
If you were with us from the start, slow start for Virginia. They fumbled the opening kickoff. Duke got a field goal out of it. Blue Devils were actually up 10-0 in this game in the first quarter for Virginia, and they've had to wait this long to start their season. Finally got going both offensively and defensively, and they put this game away despite trailing here early in the fourth quarter.
See UVA celebrating a little bit on the sidelines. Interestingly enough, Bronco Mendenhall said the biggest thing that coaches are getting wrong right now is instructing their players how to celebrate after wins. He said you're seeing teams come home after getting a win and maybe celebrate in an improper COVID way and not able to play the next week. So put a lot of trust in his players. If this win continues and they do come out of here with the W, should be a quiet night on campus for these players.
Don't go anywhere here on the ACC Network. Got another good game coming up, 8 o'clock. NC State, Mark, you mentioned it earlier. They're off to a really good start. They were impressive against Wake Forest, taking on number 20, Virginia Tech. Our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Virginia Tech's won 4 in a row in that series, but they hadn't played since 2015, so it's kind of a new thing for both teams.
Yeah, we talked about just UVA not getting to start until today. Same thing with Virginia Tech, and a lot has been talked about for Virginia Tech in the offseason. Obviously losing Bud Foster as a defensive coordinator and really finding their quarterback in Hendon Hooker throughout last season. They're a team that's primed to have a lot of guys returning in important spots. And again, they weren't picked very high in terms of their finish at preseason. And let's go down to Eric on the field for a little bit more on these Hokies.
Virginia Tech has tweeted out that tonight 23 players and 2 coaches will be out for this game due to COVID. And COVID has wrecked their program through the month of September. And up until today, they were figuring out if they could even play this game tonight. And they're down a lot of players and 2 coaches, like I mentioned.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it is going to be a season that you're just going to have to take it week by week. Got an injury here for Virginia, and that's Joey Blunt. And this is exactly what you do not want to have happen here with 4:28 left to go in this game, up 18, Mark.
No, absolutely not. Joey Blunt has had a fantastic start to this game and this season. He's been a staple of this secondary, really playing well. And gosh, you hate to see, especially at the end of the game, this happening, but it looks more like a hyperextension than really getting twisted up on. It can hurt just as bad. Or even a bang. He banged it, grabbed it right away. It's tough to see.
He's in obvious pain.
Yeah. He's getting attended to, and you see the respect that he has from a lot of his teammates all circled around him, hoping he's going to be okay.
Incidentally, we were just talking about Malik Cunningham in Louisville. Our colleague Kelsey Riggs was at the game. She was doing the sidelines at that game. Says Louisville says Malik is okay, moving all of his extremities and has all of his feelings. So that's great news coming out of Pittsburgh, or out of Louisville rather, where Pitt and Louisville played earlier on in the day. This is a tough scene right here with Blunt being helped off the field.
Yeah,
let's hope he's okay.
And not putting any weight on that left leg. Just hope he's okay. And great report out of Louisville's program that Malik Cunningham is all right. He got kind of whiplashed down to the ground, and sometimes that whiplash creates the concussions.
Kaepernick again hits Garner. So we're getting a good look at Chris Kaepernick anyways.
Chris Kaepernick is coming to this game in an optimal situation for him. Really nothing to lose. Corner's playing off. You'll pitch and catch, gain some confidence. So you don't know who this quarterback is going to be going forward.
Going to the end zone. Overshoots his intended receiver. Malik and Sims getting some time now for Duke at that receiver spot.
And Chase Bryce, a lot of the reports and the news of him transferring to Duke kind of thought they had all their quarterback worries, solved. And to Chase's credit, he came in and he knew he was going to have to win the job, and he was named the starter after about a month of being here. But he talked about the competition was really good in that quarterback room, and how these guys in Kaepernick and Holmberg really helped tutor him, kind of even get him to progress to where he is right now. And we'll see what happens going forward. But that many turnovers and the lack of offense that we've seen in the first 3 weeks, it could lead to an early change.
Kaepernick trying to look downfield, and he's brought down. Gam was there, and Gam's had a big day too. All these linebackers are so active. Picking up 4th down for the Blue Devils. Kaepernick staying in there. And a play fake. Now running out of time, and he'll get sacked. Nick Jackson's had a great game.
Yeah, he sure has. We talked about Zane Zandier, the 15 total tackles. Nick Jackson, he's got 12 tackles, tackle for loss, a sack. He doesn't have that same experience. He's able to really use his talents well. Good job coming around the edge. He's going to be a bright spot on this team as only a true sophomore for many years to come in Charlottesville.
Lindell Stone now at quarterback for Virginia. He hands off to Paris Jones. Stays on his feet. 44 set of bounds near midfield.
It's interesting. This is the first time we've seen Paris Jones. Small, quick, running back, 5'8", 175 pounds. He's a state champ in the 4x100. This kid can absolutely fly in Virginia. We thought we might see a little bit more of him, but really with the way Wayne Talapapa has been running and Shane Simpson came off the bench, they're pretty good in terms of, the two running back system.
Quick dump off pass to Kelly. He's going to get dropped in the backfield. Brennan Armstrong completing his first start for the Virginia Cavaliers. It was, Mark, would you say it was rocky, but a win? Is that how could you describe it that way?
It's tough to describe, right? I mean, it's almost like, a roller coaster, the start of a roller coaster, where you're on that uphill climb to start and you're creeping up there, and then all of a sudden you get to the top and all of a sudden you let loose. And I think there was a point in this game where Brennan Armstrong was just fighting an uphill battle, and all of a sudden he reached the top and gained some confidence with the ground game and using his legs, and it seemed like he just let loose, and it was really good to see. Ended up with a pretty good day in terms of numbers.
Yeah, it ended up being not a terrible day in terms of the numbers, even though the first 3 quarters, it didn't look like it was going to end up this way. And he has found a receiver in Lavelle Davis Jr. I mean, these two look like they may have a battery here that could last for a while and be very fruitful.
For sure. And you know what's happening too right now? This is Lavelle Davis. He's from South Carolina. Dabo Sweeney's saying, how come we did not get this guy?
Yeah.
And Duke is very happy to have him. And Lavelle Davis, 6'7", 210, just, been really, really good. Couple drops early, but then just, kind of got in rhythm. Anytime you have a first-time quarterback in there, to have an outlet like that, it really does wonders for the quarterback's confidence.
The other thing that I think we learned about Brennan Armstrong today is that he's really good with his feet. He has 47 yards on 10 carries in that touchdown. No one's going to mistake him for Bryce Perkins, but he's still very capable of making plays with not only his escapability, but on design runs.
Yeah, Robert and I, the offensive coordinator, said you'll probably see a multi-quarterback system this game because he has guys who can utilize their run game, maybe a little bit like Bryce Perkins did, but I think what Brennan Armstrong did today was prove that you don't need to have another guy come in to have those plays be effective. He can do it himself.
Bobo bobbles the punt. And on the muff, Virginia, another turnover. Virginia covers up. It has just been a nightmare fourth quarter for the Duke Blue Devils.
John Taylor, the long snapper. He actually was just awarded a scholarship in August. He was a walk-on. Ben Wyatt, the usual long snapper, opted out, and John Taylor got the scholarship, got the job, and got the muff recovery.
Stone will take a knee, and that will do it, Mark.
Yeah, that'll do it. I think what we learned about Virginia is they do have some firepower on offense. They did not lose everybody, and Brennan Armstrong, if he can get a rhythm, he can really produce, and Duke really needs to hold on to the football. They cannot win games turning it over this much. Dave Keuchler's going to have to go back to the drawing board and really shore up the ball possessions by his football team.
Virginia wins their first game of the 2020 campaign. Now they travel to Clemson next to take on the Tigers. Duke, meanwhile, will welcome Virginia Tech next week. You and I will be there for that one. Our final score, 38-20. Virginia with the win. Now let's send you to the studio. Jordan Cornette and company, take it away.